pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Marlins Baseball here on Fox Sports Florida. It's Game 2 of this three-game series coming at you tonight. The New York Mets, the Miami Marlins. Mets pulled away and won the game last night. Marlins try to even it up here tonight. And a pleasant hello, everybody. Craig Benervini, Todd Hollinsworth. Welcome again here to Marlins Baseball. Marlins trying to get off the schneid here. They lost 9 out of 10 games, and tonight, as Don Mattingly put it to Todd, a little shuffle of the deck on the lineup, try and switch it up and spark this offense.
I love it. You know, listen, when a team starts to get into a bit of a rut, the idea is to shake up the lineup. Ortega had 3 good at-bats last night, of course, 1 hit. You slide JT, into that 2 spot. Castro and Anderson some protection. Hopefully JT sees a few better pitches to hit. I just love the idea. And oh, by the way, Brian Anderson's put up some of his best numbers out of the 4 spot this season. So there's good things to look at, particularly at the top of this lineup. But yes, you're trying to find ways to get this Marlins offense going. 2.5 runs a game isn't cutting it.
Mets got their offense going last night. They scored 6 runs, a lot of hits, 3 of them by shortstop Ahmad Rosario, who has made a nice claim so far to be maybe the shortstop of the future for the New York Mets. He's still only 22.
Well, he's 22, and they're trying to figure out, does he belong at the bottom of the lineup or the top of the lineup? And that's what the Mets are dealing with right now. 3 hits, couple of RBIs last night, 3 really good swings on some high-velocity fastballs last night. So a big game for him. Obviously, the Marlins want to keep him off base because he clearly was the spark plug in getting things going for the Mets last night.
And he's from the Dominican Republic, and it is tonight Dominican Heritage Night, so there'll be nice charge in the ballpark. The bands will be here, and we'll have all storylines and the noise, I'm sure, as well, coming at you over the next few hours. More on Miguel Rojas, home run number 9 last night, when we return to Marlins Baseball on Fox Sports Florida. Dan Straley making that walk in with his battery mate and JT Realmuto here for this ball game. We head out to center field. Jessica Blaylock with Jeff Nelson and Tommy Hutton tonight. Jess?
Thanks so much, Craig. Miguel Rojas with 4 RBIs in his last 3 games. That included a 2-run shot last night off of Zach Wheeler. Tommy, Miguel works so hard on offense in spring training and just continues to get better at the plate every season.
Yeah, he does. He's 29 years old, and all of a sudden things are really coming together for Miggy Rojas. His previous 757 at-bats, he had 4 home runs. This year, 9 home runs and 370 ABs. As you watch this video, you see him be selective. He's swinging at strikes. He's driving sliders that are out over the plate the other way, and he's staying back. He's keeping his weight back to drive the ball with some distance when he has a chance to pull the ball. That's why he's gotten better.
You're right. You know, he's a good fastball hitter. You know, he'll hunt the fastball, especially early. You got to be careful because he'll cheat on you. This year, he's turned around some real good fastballs from a lot of top pitchers, and those 9 home runs, his last 45 games hitting .311. His defense is outstanding. He can play anywhere. He's already proved it. Shortstop, third base, you throw him over at first, and it's really nice to see he's getting to play every day, and he's hitting the ball.
And Don Mattingly, so complimentary of the work ethic of Miguel Rojas. When we return, it is first pitch in Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Marlins and the Mets. Dan Straley on the hill tonight for Miami as they look to even up the series here at Marlins Park.
It is Dominican Heritage Night here at Marlins Park. And Marlins Baseball at Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. By W.B. Mason, who but W.B. Mason, the official office supply company of the Miami Marlins. By Chevrolet, see your South Florida dealer today. And by local Toyota dealers, Toyota. Let's go places. And there he is, Dan Straley. Getting set. '19th start of the year for Dan Straley as we look at our Southwest batting order for the New York Mets. And the only change here is a couple of them actually. Jose Bautista in there, bottom of the lineup, number 7 in the lineup in right field. And Devin Mesoraco will be at catcher. Rosario leading it off. McNeil, Flores, Conforto, Nimmo, and Frazier, and Corey Oswalt is the pitcher.
Dan Straley on the mound tonight. Marlins, you mentioned it. Pretty nice job this season, making his 19th start 4.35 ERA. How about a 4.85 ERA here at Marlins Park? 10 of his 17 home runs allowed, though, here, which is a bit surprising. More on that as we get into this ball game. Making his third start this season against the Mets, 7th in his career. Last time out at Philadelphia, 5 1/3, worked into the 6th, only 1 hit. He did walk 5, but he struck out 7. One of his more impressive starts. I know those 5 walks catch everybody's attention, but I think under the circumstances, Australia was absolutely outstanding. He navigated a tough Phillies lineup. The Marlins in the game.
First 2 pitches outside the strike zone to Ahmed Rosario, who is hitting .235, 4 homers and 31 RBIs for the Mets. He only allowed 1 hit in that start you're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of managed the walks for a while, got in a little trouble.
Well, he lived on the edges. He didn't make any mistakes out over the plate, and that's the thing with Dan Straley. We know that he at times is susceptible to the long ball. 17 home runs on the season.
Did he offer at it?
He did.
Yes, sir. 2-2.
You want to see Dan Straley really working those edges as much as anything. So many ways, really the key to Straley is keeping the ball in the yard and making sure that if there is a home run, it's a solo shot and that it's not impacting the bottom line too much.
Line drive, it's caught at second base by Starlin Castro for the first out.
Yeah, nice job by Castro, timing his jump just perfectly. Take another look. This breaking ball stays up. Rosario hits it hard. Just in the nick of time for out number 1 here in the first.
Good catch there by Starlin Castro. And that'll bring up Jeff McNeil for New York. Left-handed hitter, made his major league debut a little less than a month ago, July 24th.
McNeil 1 for 5 last night, scored a run.
How do you like that bat?
No knob. You don't see that anymore. It's kind of the I was growing up, we called that the Manny Mota special. It's got no knob on the end.
He told me his minor league hitting coordinator a couple of years ago suggested it to him. He had a heavier version, and he liked it. It just felt good. He chokes up on it. So maybe is the knob not even a factor because of where his hands are?
Well, a lot of hitters will tell you, they use that knob not only because it feels good, but for whip action, but also as a brake for the velocity that their swing generates. Think about that swing coming through, 96 miles an hour to 100. Good guys, good hand-eye coordination, fast hands, as we like to say. You could really whip that bat. I'll tell you, you better have some good stick-em on your gloves because you don't have that knob to keep it from flying out of your hands. I mean, I was always about popping my hands when I would finish my swing, and that knob would kind of keep everything right where it needed to be.
Ground ball, nice play. It's short by Rojas. Can he get his man? Nice play. He pulled it off with a backhand as McNeil was shooting to the left side of the infield.
Oh my goodness. A good start to tonight's ball game by the defense. Great grab by Castro, and how about 3 steps and a dive for Rojas? Deep in the hole and a strong throw across the diamond. And oh man, has he done a fantastic job at short.
How about Dietz over there? Hanging on.
That's right. Nice job there. You got to read the throw at first base. Don't stretch too early. Young first baseman. That's the first thing you want to do is give him the stretch, but you can't do it. You got to read the throw. Dietrich did a nice job of that right there.
You always hear minor leaguers when they talk about when they come up here, one of the biggest differences is the defense. The routine play is just that. It's 98 out of 100 probably, but the spectacular plays here that happen that frustrate the hitters, they just happen so more often at this level.
Well, you got to be able to defend. It's a much better defense.
They almost in a way become routine. The great play you see. We'll see probably 4 to 6 great plays tonight.
Sure. Already seen 1.5 at least.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get you the Marlins defensively. Real quick for tonight's ball game, Ortega getting the start in left field. Sierra in center, Anderson over in right, Prado, Rojas, Castro, Dietrich, JT Realmuto behind the plate. 64th start at short for Rojas. Only 2 errors on the season. .992 fielding percentage. He has been very good.
2-2 count on Wilmer Flores, number 3 in the Met lineup. He's had a very good August, but he swings and misses that one in a 1-2-3 inning, thanks to some nice defense behind Dan Straley here to start us off on a Saturday night here in Miami. Here's our Southwest Airlines Miami Marlins lineup, and as Todd mentioned, it is a shuffling of the deck for Don Mattingly tonight. The speedy Rafael Ortega made his Marlins debut last night. Will start it off. Realmuto, Castro, Anderson, Dietrich over at first again, then Prado, Rojas 7th, Magneri, Sierra will bat 8th tonight. He hit leadoff last night. Dan Straley will bat 9th. So you got some good speed mixed throughout the lineup. We'll see. They need a spark. Maybe this will do it for them tonight.
Yeah, 25 runs in their last 10 ball games. That's 2.5 a game. You're not going to win too many of those. In fact, they have not. They've lost 9 of 10. So looking for a little spark. Ortega gets the top spot tonight.
Corey Oswalt, 1-1 here.
Oswalt's a big guy, 6'5", 250 pounds, 24 years old. 7th start of 2018, also of his big league career.
Well hit ball by Ortega, deep to right field, back and at the wall is Bautista, makes the catch. Welcome to Marlins Park. That's a deep shot to right.
Well, he continues to hit the ball hard. I know he's 1 for 5 in his short stay here at the big league level, but he had 3 hard hit balls last night. He gets in that box ready to hit. Boy, oh boy, he showed up ready to hit tonight. Deep drive to right. Bautista all the way back to the wall, and just enough space to make the catch.
He has 1 major league home run, and in the minors this year had a couple. He hit that one very good. JT Realmuto batting 2nd here tonight.
JT, a 6-game hitting streak versus the Mets. Double last night, 1 for 4.
That had to feel good breaking that 0 for 23, Todd. He did it with a nice rip double down the line. Kind of builds probably some pressure when you don't get a hit, and especially with the team losing. It's probably a little easier to take when you're winning ball games.
Well, what I'm hoping for JT tonight is a little more protection in the lineup, and if you get some things going at the top, JT maybe gets a few more pitches to hit. That's the one thing that he's really battling right now is, you know, that difference between borderline pitches that you want to go after and ones you don't.
Got him on that 1-2 pitch. as he pulled the string for his first strikeout.
All right, let's get you the Auto Nation scouting report. Corey Oswalt, rude introduction, no doubt about it, made his first major league start June 29th right here at Marlins Park. 2 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, couple home runs. That's right. Riddle and Brinson got him that day. Marlins had a 6-run third inning, which knocked him right out of the ballgame. Now he's pitched pretty well since, 3.81 ERA since that day. Now four-seam frenzy, despite a 189 batting average against his four-seam fastball, throws it 43% of the time. Hitters are slugging 547 against it. Point being, 6 of the 7 home runs. And here's the kicker. We're gonna watch this tonight. He has dominated the top of all the lineups he's faced. He's only faced a few, of course, coming into tonight. 33, just over 33 innings. Give you a short sample size of what I'm talking about. The first 3 spots in the lineup all season long have a combined 4 hits against him. 4 for 46. Actually, 4 for 48 now. So we got the first 2 outs here. Now, here's the kicker. The lower third, batting in the lineup, 7 through 9 have a 979 OPS against them, with 4 of the 6 home runs he's given up. So there might be some let up towards the bottom of the lineup. Remember, a hot Miguel Rojas is hanging out down there tonight.
Castro up the middle, backhanded by McNeil. The throw is in time. Nice play by McNeil, who was robbed by Rojas in the top of the first. So we'll go to the second here, just getting going in Miami.
Park tomorrow. Get your hands on an exclusive bobblehead giveaway when we take on the Mets. Tickets start at just $20. Visit marlins.com/giveaways today.
We're ready. We have the Pitbull bobblehead, and now DJ Khaled tomorrow. We have those great shirts Todd may model for us later, I'm understanding. I'm not sure if we've been able to lock that deal in.
You thought by taking this to live television that you thought you were going to rope me into this? Ain't happening,
I
pal.
understand that attorneys are discussing the finer points right now. There it is, at least on the fans for Dominican Heritage Night.
You let me know when you run across an extra large or an extra extra large, and we'll consider it.
We have seamstresses at work as we speak. Conforto, a 1-2 count. He's been hot since the All-Star break. Not a great year to look at those numbers. 233, but 304 since the All-Star break with 3 homers. And he walks a lot. 10th in the league in walks. Got a 2-2 count here.
1 for 4 last night. Had an RBI. Also had a walk. Reached base in 24 consecutive road games.
Big swing and a miss on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Second strikeout for Straley.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts of Flores and Conforto. This elevated fastball, I love it. Little run, little arm side run. what you're looking for at the top of the zone. Let me go back to that Philly start, and I think a lot was gained out of the start. I know it wasn't a great day necessarily for the Marlins, but Dan Straley was, as I would argue, one of his better starts this season. 103 pitches against the Philadelphia Phillies in Philly last time out. Now, we mentioned a few starts ago that he has started throwing more sinkers. Well, interestingly enough, in that start, he only threw 3. In fact, started using his four-seam fastball a little bit more. 46 four-seam fastballs that last start, only the 3 sinkers. That was the most he had thrown in his last 10 starts. So maybe a little shuffling of the deck, resequencing for Dan Straley. So far, so good tonight.
0-2 on Nimmo. Up high with the fastball, 91. He's been averaging 90.5 miles per hour on that four-seamer this year. You know, in the past, we've seen it 93, 94, and occasionally a touch a little higher. 1-2 pitches inside. He has walked more guys this year, Holly. He's up to almost 4.5 walks a game. Last year, he was about 3 walks a game. Strikeouts down a little bit.
And hits per 9 down this season.
But the hits per 9 are down as well.
And that's the difference. And, you know, Dan Straley certainly knows who he is and what his stuff does, meaning at 90-91, he's not living in the middle of the strike zone. He's doing his best not to challenge too many hitters there. He also knows that he can give up the long ball. So to his defense, I think he's really stressed living on the edges as much as he possibly can so as to not fall victim to the home run.
I'm not sure we've seen the near neon blue or highlight blue colored glove he's got here tonight. Oh, he gets the corner and gets a favorable call from Ed Hitchcox, the home plate umpire.
Well, he backs up a slider to that outside edge. Well done. You see Nimmo, he just kind of gives up on it. It's a very, very close pitch. But once again, we talk about JT Realmuto, and he is getting so good at this, bringing pitches that are just off that edge right back into the strike zone just enough and stealing some strikes, and he did right there.
Straley has struck out 3 of the first 5 hitters, and now he faces Todd Frazier, who had a good night last night. Couple of hits, scored 2 runs. I know his brother's here, wife. He's got a couple of young kids with little Frazier shirts. His children are here at the game tonight. They were enjoying batting practice. Off-speed pitch is a strike.
Yeah, good to see in a 2-0 count. Just necessarily challenging with 91-92. The hopes that that run gets the result he's looking for. He's willing to throw his breaking ball in any count right now. And again, that was a huge key to the Philly game.
Missed with the fastball. Now he's behind 3-1.
Frazier, good career numbers against the Marlins. 298, just over 120 at bats.
And that's outside. First walk of the game. And that'll bring on the veteran Jose Bautista. Did not play last night.
Bautista, not great numbers against Straley in his career. Does have a home run. He's really been struggling. 1 for his last 29. Went all the way back to the end of July 28th.
Frazier, a huge jump. That's his 6th stolen base. And that's how he does it. Not with the raw speed.
Well, it's with anticipation. It's a sneak attack. Look, he took off. I mean, he had a 7-step lead running start. Call it what you want. Dan Straley didn't pay attention to him at first base.
So now he's in scoring position. Outfield is really deep for Bautista. It would be very tough to throw out Frazier even.
You have to remember, in this situation, you're still 1 pitch from getting the out that you need to get out of the inning. Worry about Frazier. He's really ahead 0-2. Bautista scored his 1,000th run of his career last Wednesday. One of 10 active players with 1,000 runs scored. Very nice career.
0-2 on Bautista with Frazier on second. That's inside. And of course, all that power, his next homer will be number 340 and tie him with Jack Clark, slugger for the Cardinals, the Giants, 98th all time. He had 54 homers 8 years ago, led the majors. Now 2-2. Marlins saw him with the Braves a month ago or so, a little more.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer. It was a very interesting dynamic. Marlins were actually coming to town, and he was leaving town, basically from the same hotel in the Atlanta area. I had to cross paths with him, and coming and going.
2-2 pitch outside. He did play up in Toronto, where of course he made a name for himself there. They love him up there, and they had a tremendous ovation when he went back to play in Toronto this season. Joey Bats, who was a Pirates 20th round pick in the 2000 Major League Draft.
The first few years of his career, he was a utility player. He turned being a utility player into top 100
right.
In home runs.
Payoff pitch. Over the corner, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Dan Straley, and he leaves Frazier in scoring position. Good job by Dan. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd. Marlins coming up with Brian Anderson leading off. Of the Miami Marlins, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Brian Anderson, count 0-1 here on Dominican Heritage Night, leading off the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Anderson making his 22nd start out of the 4th spot in the lineup.
That surprises me, that number. It just didn't seem like that many.
Well, it's actually 2nd most on the Marlins.
Yeah.
If you consider Bohr. Bohr had 67 starts in the 4th spot in the lineup. Brian Anderson 2nd most. And he's actually been quite productive out of the 4th spot. 814 OPS. And his better numbers from the 4th spot. 0-for-3 last night. Had a walk. A rough homestand, but you can kind of blanket that with just about all the Marlins. 2-for-15 with a double.
Count stays 2-2 on Andy.
Let's see Oswalt. Again, he doesn't possess tremendous velocity. 89-91. As I mentioned, throws the 4-seam fastball 43% of the time. Does have a sinker. Change in curve. a lot more about movement than it is velocity.
Full count now.
Oswald's worked 5 innings plus in 4 straight, 3 earned runs or fewer in 5 consecutive starts as well.
And that's over for a called strike. Good pitch right on the corner for Oswald, his 25th strikeout against 8 walks on the season.
Yeah, he dials up that low corner as well. You've seen Mesoraco set up there and he hits the target. We've already seen a couple of strikeouts for both sides right off that edge.
So here's Double D. Derek Dietrich had a tough night, but so did the Marlin bats last night. They were handled by Zach Wheeler, who was really impressive. Foul ball up the middle. Rosario, though, over the bag, makes the play, and quickly 2 outs. Corey Oswald, out of James Madison High School in San Diego, 7th round pick in 2012. He has been that Mets 6th starter this season as Martin Prado jumps in. Back and forth between AAA Las Vegas and the Mets. It is a bit of an audition, Todd, here, because Mickey Callaway has talked about potentially going to a 6-man rotation. And it kind of depends on how he likes Oswald.
Based on results, Oswald, outside of his first start against the Marlins, which was his first big league start right here at Marlins Park late June, he's been pretty good. You eliminate that start, he's got a 3.80 ERA. Last start, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned. No walks, 4 Ks against the Atlanta Braves. Pretty good offense. 87 pitches, 65 strikes. I mean, he's been pounding the strike zone.
He was cruising in that game. Inciarte had a 2-run homer in the 7th. Good hop for the Mets, a bad one for the Marlins, and Prado. It happened right off the mound into the backhand of McNeil. Made a relatively easy play out of what should have been a base hit. Watch that.
Marlins. For Straley, he understands that baseball is so much more than just a game. It has also provided him with opportunities to give back. That's why he and his wife Amanda are raising money for the small town of El Cercadillo in the DR. They're going to build a baseball field. They're going to install a well that provides clean water to the residents. If you would like to donate, go to pledgeit.org/Straley. Guys.
Thanks, Jess. That's good stuff there. Get a chance to interview and talk more about some of the other things the Marlins are doing, which is Marlon Wyatt's helping. The line drive there down the left field line and foul Mesoraco, and that is school supplies this weekend. Just have more on that coming up later. You could drop some off here if you're coming tonight or tomorrow. Devin Mesoraco. Mesoraco hitting .225 on the year. Did not play last night. Kevin Plawecki played, had a big 2-run single in the 8th. And a ground ball up the middle, but perfectly played. Miami, as Castro was on the shortstop side of second base, makes the play.
Yeah, good signs for Dan Straley early going. We talk about this an awful lot, just about every start. You know that he typically gets better as the game goes on. That first plate appearance or the first time through the lineup, batting average against .287. Second time through .260. Third time through .123.
High pop-up by Oswalt. Dietrich coming over there, makes the catch in front of the Met dugout for the second out. Third start for Straley against the Mets this year. He's got some impressive numbers. He's only allowed 7 runs total in the last 5 starts against the Mets, covering almost 30 innings.
Man, career .321 ERA. Since joining the Marlins, it's even better. And .222. Those 5 starts. Yeah, he's kind of had the number of the Mets. I like the rhythm that he's in right now. Straley's working fast. Knows what he wants to do. He's executing pitches.
Ahmad Rosario takes one in the dirt. 1-1 to the Met shortstop.
Rosario, hardest hit ball first time through the lineup. Lined out to Starlin Castro. Second base to start the ball game. Three-hit game last night. 21 multi-hit games on the season. That's actually most on the Mets' current roster. It's not a very big number. It just kind of speaks to what the Mets have gone through offensively as well.
And he's hitting only .235, so he's done most of his damage in certain games and then been quiet the other games. Lines that one to the gap in left center field. Nobody's going to get that one. Sierra goes over to play it. Ortega is there. Rosario, big turn, and he goes back, and that was probably a good decision on a nice relay by Miami.
You're absolutely right. And that gives you a little glimpse of what the cutoff man, what Rojas has to go through. You know, we listen to instructions. That's exactly what he's listening to. He's listening to Starlin Castro. All right, so let's take a look at the swing. Rosario rockets another ball into the gap. Boy, oh boy, that's 4 hits in this series, and all have been rockets. This splits the gap. Does a nice job of getting over and getting this ball in. So Rojas has got his back to the action. You say, oh my, why wouldn't he come in and throw back behind him? Dietrich sneaking in. He doesn't know that. Rojas is trying to be so fast on this play that it's going to be a turn and throw. And that's what he's got in his mind. It's not a turn and read, it's a turn and throw. It's a big difference.
And then they pick him off second. The Marlins have been picking off players left and right. And it happens again as they stun Rosario after his big double. Look at this.
Yeah, big lead, sneaks in from behind. Well, they get their man one way or another.
It's amazing, Todd, how many times this play works. And this was by 3 feet. Nice job by Straley and Rojas to get out of the top of the 3rd. here at Marlins Park. Nothing on the board yet. As you look at Miguel Rojas standing in, hit a 2-run homer last night against Corey Oswalt. Hits one high in the air to left. Conforto was there. Some early swings here in this ball game.
These guys have dinner reservations or something after the game.
It is Saturday
Both
night.
these teams are
Day game tomorrow.
coming after it. Boy, oh boy. I mean, it has been in early attack mode.
You know,
Both offenses.
It is Miami. The restaurants do stay open a little later, too.
Well,
It's not like
I'm not sure
some
that
of your
message has
cities.
been sent down.
Magnery Sierra batting 8th tonight. Frazier watches that bunt. He's been working with Juan Pierre on the drag bunt quite a bit as well, bunting it really all over the field. Juan was so good at bunting it either way.
Yeah.
Luis Castillo, I always thought was a great bunter. Popped foul. Will it stay in play? Rosario for a look. Frazier right over the signage makes the catch. Marlins fans, Fox Sports Florida and Southwest Airlines are giving you an opportunity to enter for a chance to win an all-inclusive stay in Nassau in the Bahamas Labor Day weekend. It's the Southwest Airlines Summer Days Getaway. Here's what you have to do. Tweet hashtag Southwest Summer Day Sweeps and hashtag sponsor to @FoxSportsFL for your chance to win. Hey, Dan Straley gets a base hit. Keeps this inning alive.
You know, the message is like, all right, well, if everybody else is going to swing at the first pitch, so am I. Why would I get in the box and take? Why not? Dan Straley's been swinging the bat much better of late. It's first pitch fastball and drills it right back through the middle. Well, his first base runner. Well done, Dan Straley.
Straley now leads the pitchers and hits with 5. And he's got his average up to 200. And you know who he overcame, Todd, is Rafael Ortega. This is something you would never have guessed a year ago. If you had a guess, among the starters, who has 4 hits? Wei-Yin Chen has 4 hits.
Oh, I got you, right. Well, for Dan, that was career high hit number 5 this season. There you go, Dan. I think what impresses me more than the hitting, and he'd probably tell you it's the hitting, because he's got a few good knocks. I mean, where he's hit the ball hard.
Yeah, he's
got 6 walks on the season. That to me is impressive.
Well, his on base started at 333.
Before that hit.
Before the hit.
That's right.
Didn't Chen, what was it, 0 for 50 something? 52 maybe?
Chen's been a little bit better. He had rocketed a double in the gap a couple of ball games ago. I think his first big league hit, if I remember correctly, was an infield hit. It was about a 50-footer.
Yeah,
to short.
it was to short. And in fact, I think there was some question, hit or not.
Right.
And I believe that, we'll have to look up the numbers. I thought it was 0 for 52 or something like that, that he finally got his first hit. Now he's got 4 this year. Inside and tight to Ortega, who drove one within about 2 feet of getting it out of here. His first time up to right.
This 4-seam fastball, as you said, up and in. It's his attention. My goodness, 2-2.
And a ground ball chopped in the direction of Flores. He throws it over to the pitcher, Oswalt covering. And the Mets get out of the inning on the 3-1 putout. Major League Baseball history, August 11th, 1961. There he is, the lefty Warren Spahn, his 300th win, a complete game 6 hitter against the Cubs. Complete game, no big deal for Warren. He only hurled 374 of them in his career. He won 363 games, 6th all-time, Hall of Famer in 1973. He was 40 years old when he accomplished this feat. 57 years ago. Spahn and Sane and Pray for Rain. Johnny Sane. Dan Straley, meanwhile, doing a nice job here through 3 so far against the New York Mets, allowing just a double to Rosario, and then he picked him off last inning. On Dominican Heritage Night, Jessica's told us she is going to visit with the Pachanga Band at some point. In the 5th inning coming up. Okay. Jeff McNeil takes the ball outside. A high drive to right field, but Anderson will camp under it.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy saving expert. Go to fpl.com/beattheheat.
Here's Wilmer Flores, struck out his first time up. Straley has struck out 4 in the game. Walked 1. Wilmer has some interesting connections to his birthdays. He lines that one deep to left field. Ortega is back to the wall. He dropped it. It was in the glove and it came out of the glove. And Flores goes to second as he banged against the wall. Oh, almost a spectacular catch for Ortega.
El Ortega does everything possible and almost makes this catch. My goodness, full extension over his head. I'm not even convinced that he had both eyes on the ball. But let's say this, at least keeps it in the yard. That had a shot at going out. Maybe it hits high on that wall, but that was a line drive. Nice job trying to corral this. Snow cones it. And I think when he hits the wall, it squeezes it right out. That's why you got to be so careful. Almost made that catch. My goodness, what an effort.
That fence doesn't give much. You can see he hit it hard. And he does save a solo homer at the very least. What an attempt there. As Conforto fouls one off. Wow. Well, the Marlins did say, and Don Mattingly talked about, by moving Dietrich to first, you're going to improve your outfield. Ortega is an outfielder. He's played center field, he told me today, most of his career. Played left field a lot this year. Comfortable out there. And Dietrich is, he'll tell you, he's obviously came up an infielder, better at first himself. Wow.
Now Conforto hitting .234 with runners in scoring position on the season. And Straley went up for the strikeout against Conforto, his first time up. Top of the zone, 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Nice crowd tonight, and still a buzz in the building. Response to that near incredible catch by Ortega, but it came out at the last moment.
Tremendous job, even giving himself an opportunity to make that catch. Good line, got himself to the spot.
Count of 2-2 on Michael Conforto. Back to the screen. Conforto last year became the first Met in an age 24 and under season to hit over 25 homers. He hit 27 since David Wright, who hit 30 in 2007. And oh, by the way, Todd, what was that note you saw about David Wright? He's going to play.
Oh, he's going to play tomorrow. Or yeah, tomorrow he's going to play an A-ball. We were just talking about this last night.
He's going to play in Clearwater.
That's right.
For the St. Lucie Mets.
5 innings. He's scheduled for 5 innings tomorrow.
That pitch is outside, 3-2. So David Wright, who hasn't played a major league game in a couple of seasons.
Right. MIA. He had been out of, I'm not sure really any of us knew what the story was on him.
You never saw
like
anything.
We set it up, right? We started talking about it last night. And we found out today that he is going to be giving it a go one more time at least.
He's been trying. Full count pitch here. That's inside. So with first base open and 1 out, he walks Conforto to bring up Brandon Nimmo.
It's now the 25th consecutive road game which Conforto has reached. In fact, it is our Florida Lottery in-game jackpot. You see the number now at 25. Now solid numbers: 286, 398, 524. It's during the 25 game consecutive game streak.
Nimmo takes outside.
Walks a big part of that as well. Now 16 walks in those 25 games.
We're talking about Wright. He did have 137 at bats 2 years ago with the Mets, 7 homers. Only 152 a year before that, so he hasn't had a full season in 4 years. Debilitating injuries. Had a disc herniation surgery last year. He's just been battling, and I don't think anybody really expected him to be able to eventually get back here, but don't tell that to him. He's still trying, so good for him. Good luck. Count of 2-0 now on Nimmo. Flores at second, Conforto at first. Nimmo takes up high. So now 3-0, and Australia in danger of walking Nimmo, which would load the bases. Todd Frazier awaiting.
Certainly some more discipline from these Mets hitters. Second time through. Australia rolled right through at first pass. So, 5th batter the second time through, 2 doubles and a walk for the Mets.
The 3-1 pitch, good breaking ball, 3-2.
Once again, Dan Straley proving unpredictable. 2-1 curveball. Throwing a 3-0 fastball to get back in the count.
What does he throw now?
Good question.
Payoff pitch coming.
I always like to believe they play off what those first at-bats tell. We saw him try to climb on Conforto. Now he defended a little bit better. That's why Conforto was able to draw the walk. Nimmo was struck out on a backdoor slider. Let's see if he tries that once again.
Inside is the call by Hickox, and Straley does not like the call, and he has good reason. Ooh, tough change here. Instead of first and second, 2 outs, you have bases loaded and 1 out. Australia's, you can't believe it wasn't a strike.
Well, it's a huge pitch in a huge spot in the ball game, and it was such a good pitch that I think it just kind of locked everybody up. You can't tell Nimmo. Nimmo sold it. Boy, he was out of the box before that almost hit JT's glove. But this is a great pitch in the strike zone. Remember, where you see JT catching, obviously he's behind the plate. I think back out in front, that is more than good enough for strike 3. Australia was not alone. JT was pretty shocked himself.
I'm always amazed, Todd, at the poise of pitchers to not yell at the what are you looking at or something.
Well, you know, sometimes you throw a pitch that kind of shocks everybody. I kind of mentioned, you know, the backdoor slider,
yes.
And I think it felt like that's where he was going, and all of a sudden it was right down, well, Broad Street almost, right down the middle, and then it broke to the inside just a bit. I think Nimmo was surprised.
So Frazier now 1-0. Here's that pitch again.
Watch JT does a nice job. Does have to reach for it just a bit, but it's a great pitch in the zone.
There's that good pitch. 1-1. So now, of course, the pitcher has got to compose himself after a bad call. A tough call. It was close. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's fouled right underneath us. 1-2. Frazier, a 2-time All-Star in 2014 and 2015. Out of Rutgers University, where he was the all-time home run leader for the Scarlet Knights, still with 42. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball down to third, off the glove of Prado in the left field. That's going to do damage. Flores scores, Conforto scores, Nimmo will score, and Frazier has cleared the bases with a 3-run double here.
Todd Frazier, known throughout his career, the ability to pull the baseball. Stands very tall in the box. You'll see him at times get out on that front side. This changeup down. Todd Frazier goes out and gets it, hooks it inside the bag, past the diving Prado. Off to the races. Bases once loaded, now unloaded.
Bautista takes a strike. It's a percentage game where the Marlins put the infielders. Sometimes you go no doubles or down the line. Obviously, in a spot like that, the percentage is more toward the hole. Now you got to give up something one way or the other. He just snuck it down the line. Didn't miss it by much, did Prado. Bautista cues that one foul into the Met dugout. Here's the 0-2. That's wrapped down the left field line and foul. Bautista hit that one well.
Yeah, both Frazier and Bautista picking on breaking balls, able to kind of go out and get, if you will, those pitches and trying to line them to left. This is right about the time where we see Dan Straley. He'll stand up a right-hand hitter with a two-seam fastball to the inside part of the plate.
Fastball inside. It is the ultimate game of inches. You think this inning alone. Flores hits that ball that Ortega nearly pulls in. He caught it, banged against the wall. It nudged out of his glove. And then the other call on the 3-2 pitch, which could have been an out. And look how the Mets have capitalized and scored 3 runs now.
Well, it's been quite interesting. Mets some credit. Saw a number of times that first time through the willingness to expand their strike zones, particularly on the elevated fastball. The second time through, the Mets have not. All done a pretty decent job of laying off for Dan Straley. That's a big pitch. Talk about it all the time, the ability to elevate.
Straley up to 74 pitches now for the ball game. 28 here in the inning and still only 1 out. Tiresome inning here.
Now after a quick 3rd inning, only 9 pitches, 28 here in the 4th.
Payoff pitch foul back.
Key for Straley is to limit the damage, contain this deficit. It's at 3. You certainly don't want to see it grow. Talk about the Marlins and some offensive struggles, but you got to keep things as tight as you can and make some pitches here.
And because of that pitch count, Marlon Garcia is starting to loosen up. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's popped up in the infield. Got it. Prado calls. 2 outs. Now the Mets do not have one of their aces tonight. Corey Oswalt trying to find his way, as Todd mentioned. He's pitched very well of late, but the Marlins just trying to keep this game where it is now. And I know, talking to hitting coach Frank Menachino among others, he feels like this offense can get going tonight. They're going to intentionally walk Mesoraco and bring up Corey Oswalt.
Oswalt popped up his first time.
On 1 on Oswalt. And now 0-2. Corey was a 3rd baseman, shortstop in high school. He only pitched 20 innings. That was his senior year at a conversion of pitching. And he spent quite a few years at the low level, the minors, in the Mets organization because of that. They didn't have any pitching experience. 3 years in short season ball. It's unusual. 2 years in Class A. And takes a fastball. A very frustrating inning in many ways there for Dan Straley and the Marlins. 34 pitches. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By the Cleveland Clinic, stiff joints, aches and pains, trust Cleveland Clinic, Florida, the #1 orthopedic care in Florida. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Welcome back here to Marlins Park. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Time for our Chevy Minor League Spotlight. What do you got for us, Holly?
Talk a little bit about this young man, Dustin Beggs. He's been outstanding this season. 21 games, 11 starts, 5-3 record. You see the 2.32 ERA. He's a big kid, 6'3", 180 pounds, out of Colorado. Tossed his second career complete game yesterday. In that first game of a doubleheader, the Hammerheads took both games, beating up on Daytona. As I mentioned, his second career complete game. It was the second straight start of exactly 7 innings, 3 hits allowed, and 1 run allowed. So he's been hot.
Out of Kentucky, where JT Riddle played for 3 seasons. And was the Kentucky High School Mr. Baseball 2010. Here's JT, struck out his first time up. That is Realmuto, Marlins catcher. Well, Marlins got to get something going here. They have not done a lot against Oswalt. The only hit they have came off the bat of Dan Straley. We mentioned Oswalt maybe going to a 6-man rotation. Here's the question for the Mets, and that is, you have Jacob deGrom, who's making a bid, a strong bid, despite his record for the Cy Young Award. And if you go 6-man, it would take away a couple of his starts. So there is some talk that if they do that, here's the 1-2 pitch, grounded over to third. Frazier makes the play. That they might work with deGrom and his schedule. Then that kind of throws an extra day of rest for the other guys. So it really is kind of confusing if they decide to go down that road. But they are thinking about it, what Callaway said yesterday.
Yeah, well, you have some interesting dynamics at work here. Of course, deGrom in Cy Young conversation. So more deGrom is a good thing, at least for his own individual cause. And with that being said, what are the Mets really playing for? I guess that's the other question you ask yourself. And again, you start to fast forward into 2019. This is an organization that is maintaining "we will contend in 2019" philosophy, which I find very interesting. Their defense at the trade deadline, as many people speculated that deGrom or Syndergaard or Wheeler might even be traded, they're all still here, all Mets.
And if you keep them, you feel like you should be able to contend, or at least if you pick up your offense, you got a good starting point.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's about as strong a top 3 as you're going to get in the game today. I know they're all right-handed, but you get Matson, you kind of factor him in. He's been on the disabled list. Sounds like he's coming back here shortly. Point being, you have a formidable rotation.
Castro a shot, and he beats it out at first. Good play there by Frazier to get the hop. He was waiting and waiting and waiting for it. Got a nice high chop, and Castro beats it out for another infield hit. He's among the league leaders.
Yeah, it's going to cost him. I think that's just it. You know, Frazier really had no choice. He couldn't pursue it anymore, so he waits back as this ball is, what was it, Baltimore chop, I believe is what you called it?
Yep.
Yeah, very similar to it right there. Castro gains about 5 or 6 steps down the line as this ball is just waiting up in the air.
You think he could have caught it on the fly at all, or no?
No shot. I think that's just a base hit every time. It really doesn't matter who's at third base. It's not really on Frazier. That's just a...
Well, right back up the middle. A double pump, and a throw to first is not in time because of that. I don't know if Rosario was late getting to the bag or not. They do get the lead runner, though, at second base.
Yeah, this took a little bit of time to develop. Ball back to the mound. One hopper. Oswalt fields his position pretty well. He's ready to throw, but nobody's home. He had to wait. Slows things up. Return throw to first. These are breaks that you hope you can take advantage of if you're the Marlins. Gained 1 or 2 of these last night, but weren't really able to take full advantage. I know they don't go down as errors in the box score, but again, those are outs that most major league teams certainly expect to get.
Derek Dietrich grounded out his first time up. Here's our StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Well, you certainly see Dietz, he'll move the ball around the yard. 20% left side of the infield. He'll certainly go that way. If he gets something generally off speed and away, he'll stay on it. But if it's a fastball, he'll drive it back up the middle.
Pitch away. Mets are 14th in the league in turning the double play. Only the Dodgers have turned it less frequent. Line drive, base hit. Castro around second. He'll go to third. He's trying for two. He slides in there and gets in there with a double. Big two-out double for Derek Dietrich, second and third, Miami.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting. Double D goes with it. We're just talking about that ball on the ground. Two-seam fastball, running action away, not overpowering, head down, great swing. Splits the gap. Sets up the Marlins here with 2 outs in the 4th.
Conforto smartly going to second base, and good hustle by Dietrich. Obviously, he cannot get thrown out at second, but he was busting it as usual out of the gate. And it's a big difference if the Marlins can get a base hit. They can potentially get 2, and even something in the infield will get a run with no force over at second base. 0-1 on Prado. Line drive, base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Dietrich. Throw from Bautista is up the line. A 2-run single. Prado caught the pickle at first, but the Marlins have 2. Big hit for Martin Prado. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Martin is upset he got caught over there, but he did his job with a huge, much-needed 2-out hit. Jessica in the band next.
Night, and we have got a party going on over here. We've got a ton of proud fans sporting their floral and red jerseys. We've had the Pacheco band playing. Guys, there are a couple of Marlins who have connections to the DR. Starlin Castro, Harlan Garcia, Magneuris Sierra, and Jose Urania. I'm going to hang over here for a little bit because we are having such a good time.
All right, we'll get back to Jessica and the long-awaited hit on the Pachanga band at some point as well. They're having a good time and creating nice atmosphere on a Saturday night here at Marlins Park. Ahmed Rosario 0-2 count. Well, that had to feel good for Dan Straley after, I mean, as frustrating an inning as you can imagine with the call and the near great catch and just the circumstances of the top of the 4th inning. to get 2 back.
It feels sometimes like a lot of things aren't going your way. Ground ball to the left side. Strong throw by Rojas. Good stretch by Dietrich. He's able to hold on to the bag. Well, the Mets want to take another look at this. Rojas, plenty of time. A little bit to the right. Dietrich reaches back across. I think he's got more than enough of the first base bag to secure the out, and we will move on. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, that's kind of one of the missing ingredients. Craig, we think back 6-8 weeks ago, we started to watch this team transition into a team that was playing about 500 baseball against some pretty good teams in the game today. One thing that stood out, the ability to bounce back and answer even inside some games. So good to see. We haven't seen a lot of it lately. Big 3-run inning for the Mets. They kind of rolled yesterday as well, but to respond and kind of get back in this game, now you got to keep it here. Give yourself another chance to score a few more runs.
Marlins shifting against the rookie Jeff McNeil, who hits one deep to center field. Sierra's going back. He's going to get it on the warning track. And he gets a little welcome to Miami. Hit that one well. He's 0 for 3. Great play by Rojas in the first on McNeil. No pity from Dan Straley. No crying, and you can't feel sorry for anybody, right?
Take advantage of your surroundings. That's what you do. Certainly all know that this is the pitcher's park.
How about this stat, Todd? The Marlins starters have the 3rd best ERA at home this season in the National League. They're at overall the team that's 3-8-1. That's 7th in the National League. It's better than the Nats, Cubs, and Rockies. Of course, Rockies playing their ballpark.
Yeah,
but the Marlins have pitched well in their park.
Well, and again, the Marlins have played what we would define as their game best here at Marlins Park. The home road split certainly explain an awful lot of that. This team goes out on the road, things get a little dicey. They're 7 games under 500. Again, that's certainly not trying to sell that as if, you know, they're ready to win the pennant. But the point is that it has been better at home than it has been on the road. Right. You keep yourself in ball games, you hit last, you keep it close, there's a chance. And most of the Marlins starters get that.
What really hurts is the road ERA is over 6. That's a near 2.5 run difference on the road versus home. So where your home is middle of the pack, 7th, the road is the worst at over 6 runs a game. Well, they're 15 under on the road.
Chen kind of leading the way as far as that
Chen's
conversation goes, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's masterfully sitting at, I believe it's right around 1.9.
And we'll see him tomorrow against Noah Syndergaard in the finale to the homestand.
Well, how about Chen? 1.94 ERA here at Marlins Park. That's 3rd best in the National League. There's only 2 guys ahead of him. Ever heard of Madison Bumgarner?
Rings a bell.
Yeah. Jacob deGrom. That's it.
Long-haired guy?
Chen.
No, he cut his
3rd National League. He's the man when he's at home.
Oh, 2-2 pitch catches Flores. And that'll bring up Conforto.
Circle change, arm side run. Catches him on that front hip. Flores on for the 2nd time tonight.
Flores does not have a stolen base this season. Straley's only allowed 4 stolen bases this year. Marlins have caught 6. Solid 40%.
Other than not paying attention to Todd Frazier a bit earlier in the game.
Yeah, so make it actually 5. You're right, 5 out of 11. Line drive, that's a base hit to right field. Flores moves up a base. Marlins with action in the pen, but trying to at least get Straley through the 5th. He'll bat 3rd in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Don Mattingly maybe not getting through the 5th inning. He doesn't want to see him face the left-handed Nimmo here. So Straley's going to come out after 4 2/3 here with the Mets leading 3-2.
Harlan, 4.39 ERA on the season. Pitched in last night's ball game. Clean inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. In fact, has 7 career appearances against the Mets, totaling 11 innings. Has yet to allow a hit. Right man for the spot. You ask me.
Marlins did not double switch, so they'll either pinch hit for him in the bottom of the 5th or allow him to hit. We'll see.
Lefty's hitting .229 against Garcia. Looks well here at this ballpark.
And a ground ball to first, and he's going to get that out in a big spot. So Dietrich makes the play. Nicely done by Garcia. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 1-run game.
day at Marlins Park tomorrow afternoon. Tickets start at $12 for all residents of Wynwood and Midtown. More information, visit marlins.com/Wynwood.
Dan Straley, 4 2/3 tonight, 4 hits. Frustrating night for him. 3 runs, 4 walks. 1 was intentionally struck out 5. Probably feels like he could have fared better with a break here or there in this game.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably hear him maybe commented on it after the game. You think back to the one curveball against Nimmo. I mean, such a big pitch in such a crucial spot of the game, and it, you know, so much momentum was attached to it. There was a mound meeting after the pitch.
Rojas sawed off there. 1-3 put out. They'll bring up Sierra. We'll see if the Marlins have a pinch hitter to come out. It looks like Rivera, Yadi Rivera, is going to be pinch hitting for Garcia. Sierra shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1.
Well, the 2-run 4th inning for the Marlins, you know, it featured 3 hits. It's the first 3-hit inning since the first inning of the homestand.
Bunt to third. It's going to be a tough play for Frazier, and he's safe. Bunt, base hit. That's what you want to see from Magneuris Sierra. He's been working on it.
It could not have been more perfect. Nice job catching and deadening. Now watch, catch, that's right. Young guys at home, you don't want to see yourself jab at that ball. If you're a good bunter, as Juan Pierre would teach you, you actually want to catch it. And what that does is it deadens the ball, so it doesn't get all the way to Frazier with velocity. It actually is slowing down, so he's got to come farther towards home. Nice job by Sierra, great bunt here in the bottom of the 5th.
So here's Rivera, and you saw how close, first of all, Frazier was. He was in on the grass, he jumped the play, and he still beat it out.
Yeah.
And that's confidence building for Sierra, who is 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts so far in his young Marlins career.
Well, that's the cat and mouse game that goes on. Watch Juan Pierre do it for 2 different teams. We were teammates. I watched Juan do that and wear out third baseman, first baseman as well. I mean, he would play games with him. Pitcher would get so frustrated, he'd pull him in, he'd pull it back, he'd try to bunt a hard bunt by a guy, and then he would shorten back up. He'd push. I mean, he just would frustrate. And if you can learn that, I'll tell you what, it is a huge weapon.
Sometimes you find that spot past the pitcher, in between the pitcher and first baseman.
Oh, could you imagine Pierre's bunting skills in today's game with the shifting? Oh my! I mean, he would be finding holes in the defense like an NFL quarterback.
Sierra had 31 steals in Peoria in 2016. They had to watch him closely over there. Overall 98 steals, 44 caught stealing in the minors, and he was 2 for 4 in St. Louis last year in his 22-game stint. That's something he's going to have to work on as well, but with his blazing speed, and he's as fast as anybody, he might be number 1. His one other bunt attempt there. Oh, close play, safe at first, says Ramon De Jesus. That was very close. Mets are going to look at it.
Going backside of the bag, doing everything right. That finger does just get in.
Stay there.
What do you learn? Sierra showing you what his maximum lead is. Ideally, that's what you talk about. All right, so maybe he gets a half a step shorter just so that next time isn't so close. But he knows where he needs to be with Oswalt's move and his time to first base.
Pitch is up high. They're thinking about him. Mesoraco has caught only 25% of the potential stealers.
He's definitely a catcher that you can run on for the Mets. Base stealers 32 for 43.
Outside. And it appears that if nothing else, Sierra is in the head of Corey Oswalt. Well, 2-1 count.
If Rivera gains any kind of benefit, that's what you want. Sometimes even as a base runner, you can draw the attention at times create a mistake for your hitter. Rivera 6 for 26 pinch hitting this year.
Harder to throw a breaking ball or something off speed maybe in this spot.
Make you think about it.
See a 12-foot lead. I like the way that, I didn't realize it goes down, and as you see him go back to the base. It's 12-9. It's cool.
It is, isn't it? That's right.
Pop up. Floor is going for a look, but it's going to go about 5 rows back. Dugout seats. Good crowd on hand tonight. And a nice atmosphere here. Come on out tomorrow. Marlins will wrap up the homestand. Good matchup with Chen and Syndergaard going. 1 o'clock start. Tommy, Jeff, and Jessica with the pregame at 12:30. Marlins Live. And then the road, a busy, busy week. 4 games in 3 days in Atlanta. Doubleheader on Monday. 2-2 pitch. Sierra fakes going. Swing and a miss by Rivera, and that's the second out.
Oswald, two-seam fastball up and in. Let's catch that inside third of home plate. Ties up Rivera.
So here's Ortega.
Ortega just missed a home run, his first at bat leading off the ball game. Deep drive to the warning track and right.
Sierra's got to go here, doesn't he, at some point in this at bat? We'll see.
I'm not sure he has to. I love the fact that he's drawing an awful lot of attention from Oswald. Ortega, as I said, I know he's only got the 1 hit, but he's been putting together some pretty good at bats. He can shoot a gap right here. Sierra certainly can score from first on a gapper. I also like the fact that he's creating a little bit of a hole to the right side.
Good fastball by Oswald. Gets the call 0-1 to Ortega, who's 0 for 2. Hit one right back to the wall in the first inning, grabbed by Bautista. And grounded out in the third. Marlins trailing by 1. Came back with 2 in the fourth on the Prado 2-run single. Line drive down the left field line, but it's curving and it's foul. Sierra was halfway to third by the time the ball hit the dirt. You know, Don Mattingly was saying that the other night when Sierra hit a ball down that left field line. Remember that double that he had?
Correct, yes.
And he was looking because the outfielder was shaded over there. He said, oh, that's going to be close. And as he looked where the ball dropped, he looked up for Sierra, and Sierra was already halfway to second. He couldn't believe it. He was recorded the fastest time from home to first on his bunt single earlier, several games ago. Fastest since StatCast started tracking this in 2015, 31 feet per second to first base.
Well, I'm telling you, if Sierra figures out how to get on base more consistently, you're going to get to see him use that speed. And this is some development that he's going through right now, understanding how to get on more consistently and develop his offensive game, how to use that speed to his benefit.
0-2 is inside.
Shot by Ortega. Oswald doubled up. Fastball up, fouled one off, laid off the second one. Both were balls.
Sierra fakes going that time. Fouled off. How would you note Oswald's time to the plate?
Well, I don't think
he's a big guy.
He's not particularly fast. He's just paying an awful lot of attention. And what that does to you as a base runner at first base is that you're aware of the attention he's giving you. So naturally, it makes you shorten up just a bit. Of course, those strong numbers favor Marlins running a little bit tonight.
Inside with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
A lot of times what happens, the conflict that you run into is when you're struggling offensively and you get a few base runners, not a lot of base runners, you're less inclined to put guys in motion. You just don't want to do it because you only have a few runners. As Marlins offense starts to heat back up a little bit, I think you'll see a few more guys get put in motion.
3-2, no question that the Marlins want to see the speed game become a big part of Sierra's game, the bunt game.
Sierra will be off with the pitch right here. Speed will be on display. Take a tie up this ball game with a gapper.
Well, he's going to take ball 4. Good at bat by Rafael Ortega. He's been very impressive in his 2 games here. So first and second with 2 out. And here comes Dave Island, the Mets pitching coach.
Well, we probably shouldn't be surprised with Ortega. More walks than strikeouts at AAA.
So first and second. Dave Island, the Met pitching coach, was Don Mattingly's teammate. 88 to 91, also in 95, just 36 games. And I was asking Dave today about Mattingly. He said the guy was unbelievable as a teammate. He said, I remember my first game, I was in Milwaukee, and we're ready to starting the ball game. Mattingly comes to the mound. You're bleeping better than these guys. Blah, blah, blah. Go get him. And he said he took the rosin bag and threw it down. And Island turned around and said, oh my gosh, Don Mattingly, he's got me ready.
Right.
Molitor, first batter, hits a home run against him. First batter. He said, yeah, but after that, he said, I settled down, 7 innings, 1 run. We blew a 5-1 lead. He did not win the ball game. He said, unbelievable competitor.
Right.
The calmness, but yet the fire that he had, he was shaking his head, saying it was incredible. All right, 1-0 count, big spot here for the Marlins.
The Marlins 1 for 1 tonight. Runners in scoring position. Remember, Martin Prado ripped the shot to right, driving the first 2 runs. The homestand only 5 for 23, so not a whole lot of opportunity.
2-0, good hitters count for JT Realmuto.
Tell you what, that Ortega at bat, an impressive one in that he drew a walk. A conversation about that early on in tonight's ball game. The Marlins have not been walking much lately.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Here comes the speedy Sierra. He'll score. Ortega over to third, and JT now has a 7-game hitting streak against the Mets, and he ties the ball game up.
Yeah, good to see the big guy get it done. I'll tell you what, he has been grinding hard to get out of this funk, and that is a huge hit for the Marlins tonight. He picks on a fastball, great swing, right back through the middle.
And I'll tell you what else, Todd, is on display is the newer, more athletic Marlins here, with Sierra scoring easily, and even though it's to left center, Ortega easily into third without a throw. And this is where the Marlins want to go. Speed, athleticism, movement. You got to get on base, but boy, if they can, forget about the station-to-station days for these guys.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, again, there's not a stolen base in the inning, but I don't think you would deny, Craig, right? Oswald has paid an awful lot of attention to the base runners on base, knowing that it was a 3-2 game this inning, and he may not be stressed physically, but it's hard for me not to argue that he's probably stressed out a little bit mentally because of this speed.
Yeah, let's look at that, 22. So this is sort of like the 4th inning for Straley, very stressful. He only has 69 pitches in the game. Castro, chopper, Frazier though with that high hop, and that'll end the inning. But the Marlins have tied it up. It is 3-3 through 5.
Of battling back. Marlins fans, Fox Sports Florida and Southwest Airlines are giving you an opportunity to enter for a chance to win an all-inclusive stay in Nassau in the Bahamas on Labor Day weekend with Southwest Airlines Summer Days Getaway. Tweet hashtag Southwest Summer Days Sweeps and hashtag sponsored at Fox Sports FL for your chance to win.
New pitcher for Miami, Eliezer Hernandez. '24th game for Eliezer.
5.80 ERA. That's a big spot for him. Tie ball game. He's had a couple of days rest. Last pitched on the 7th. Pitched a couple of times in the Cardinals series. Did give up a run his last time out.
His only appearance against the Mets was a start, went 5 innings. Allowed a run and took the defeat earlier this season.
Yeah, he pitched very well against them, in fact.
Todd Frazier had a 3-run double down the line just past Prado in the 4th inning to account for the Met offense tonight. Had a good series.
You may see Hernandez has to go more than an inning. We'll see. Garcia's already pitched as well. Came in relief of Straley. For Hernandez, 7 of his 18 relief appearances have been 2 innings or longer.
Down the right field line, Anderson, long way to go. Sliding, did he get it?
Yes, he did.
Oh, nice catch by Anderson, who slides into the wall.
Out of nowhere.
Brian Anderson. Wow.
Are you kidding me? Wow, right off the dirt. I didn't think he had a chance of catching this. How much ground did this man cover? Wow. Right into the wall. Incredible catch.
Our Bonefish Grill catch of the day.
You think?
Fresh catch of the day. Yes, that was fresh as it gets.
Anybody knocking him off the top perch? I don't think so.
Well, Ortega gave it a shot.
That was pretty impressive, but my goodness, the ground that he covered, the ability to get his glove underneath that baseball. Wow, what a catch. 127 feet covered.
He had to run virtually full speed right open until the point he caught the ball.
And then come under control as he slides into the wall. This is some kind of athleticism right here, people. This is what you got to get. He's going as fast as he can, 100 miles an hour, running straight into a wall that breaks it down, not only to protect himself, but make the catch.
Talked to him the other day about right field. He said, no doubt he feels comfortable out there now. Bautista with a ringing base hit up the middle. The beginning he was just trying to hold his own there, but he's worked hard at it with Freddie Gonzalez, seeing the batting practice balls off the bat. And yes, he said he feels comfortable now as a right fielder.
Yeah, he's played such a good right field. I've forgotten that he was a third baseman.
He kind of alluded to that himself when I was talking to him. He's, you know, it's gotten to that point where he feels good out there.
Well, I'm saying it because he doesn't look like a third baseman anymore to me. He looks more like a right fielder who happened to play third base at one point in his life. I want to get ahead of myself here, and sometimes I say crazy things, but I'll tell you, if he stays with it, continues to play every day, I see gold in his future at some point.
Wow. High drive left field. Ortega in foul ground makes the catch. Bautista got off the bag at first but goes back. How about that? Corey Oswalt with 2 outs here in the 6th, going to come up to hit.
His pitch count is manageable. That bullpen's been rolling. Had a very nice August. So for now, stay in the ball game. Getting back to Anderson. 86th start in right field. He is a right fielder.
One and one now to the pitcher, Corey Oswalt. Mets have a busy schedule. We mentioned the crazy trip they're on. Wacky trip, 10 days. This is day 2, 11 games, 5 cities. So I guess when you have a chance to get, 6 or more out of your starter, you take advantage of that with all the games that are going to be piling up for the Mets and all the travel they're doing.
That's a good point. Very well be why they're asking a little bit more of Oswalt.
And you mentioned that 70 pitches. They could presumably get 2 more innings out of him, potentially. Well, the Marlin bats are warming up, though. You can see even though Ortega didn't make that catch, you can almost feel the excitement in the building. And then Anderson and the big hits they've gotten tonight that we haven't seen. Real Muto, Prado.
Well, what you're saying is that you feel like the Marlins are getting their swagger back a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Ground ball to second. Castro makes the play. We're to the bottom of the 6th in a 3-3 game. But a lot of baseball to go here. As we remind you, our South Florida Honda Dealers Marlins Live tomorrow at 12:30. Blaylock, Nelson, and Hutton celebrating Billy's birthday. Good matchup to talk about. Syndergaard and Wei Chen. And what the Marlins hope will be the deciding game of the series, as they have battled back here in this game. And who is leading off?
Well, when you make an incredible catch like this, of course you lead off, right? 28.8 feet per second. Here's what's amazing to me. The 128 feet that he covered, he only had a maximum distance of 130 he could possibly go to make this catch. He used every foot possible and under control at the last second. Just a beautiful catch by Anderson. I'm going to go ahead and say it. 86 start, first year in the big leagues. That's the best catch I've seen him make.
Ground ball to Rosario. I agree with you. He's made a couple of good ones, too. That was the best. With the wall factor and the distance he had to go at the speed he had to go.
Absolutely.
Here's our Toyota inside look. Derek Dietrich hit by a pitch 89 times. That's a club record. Tied for 131st all-time already. Got hit last night with his 17th of the season. I believe that surpassed last year's total now. He had 16 a year ago.
You know what Dietz does so well. I mean, it's such an odd conversation. We talk about hit by pitches, right? But you learn how to do it. I was around Anthony Rizzo in Chicago for a while, and he certainly knows how to do it as well. It's the idea that that front shoulder turns in when the ball is on its way. Most of us try to get out of the way. I had well over 3,000 at bats in my lifetime. I think I got hit 9 times. I tell people I'm too fast. I got happy feet in the box. You couldn't hit me. You know what I mean? It's like trying to throw a dart at something that's moving all over the place. Now, Dietrich doesn't do that. He just turns into it.
Yeah, last year, he's actually tied at 17 this year. 6th highest in baseball last year,
Right.
but he's already there now. Obviously playing more this year. And it's helped that on-base percentage of his with a good average.
A lot of times the difference is just that front shoulder turning in, and the other guys, you throw your arms up out of the way. Dietrich always willing to take the base.
Ground ball softly hit the first. Flores handles that. Second quick out.
Let's take another minute and show you that Prado at bat his last time up and really got this Marlins offense going. Of course, it goes down as a 9-2-4-6 and a couple of runs come across. Prado ended up in a rundown. Yeah, the point being that Martin Prado's had a couple of great at bats tonight and signs of life. That was a huge base hit right there with 2 outs. The Marlins were chasing 3 at the time. A couple of really nice swings from Prado tonight.
RBIs 14 and 15 for Martin. All the 3 runs scoring with the 2 outs. But Corey Oswald has done a pretty good job here for the Mets as well. If he can get 1 more out, he's got the 6-inning quality start at least. Making a bid to stay in this rotation. Oh, he hit Prado right in the helmet. Prado's helmet went off. He's running there. Doesn't appear to be affected at all.
Well, thank goodness, another 2-seam fastball with arm side run. It is absolutely.
Didn't get the helmet.
You know, got his arm pad, front arm. I think he put that arm up. Most guys think about getting your arm up in the way. Most everything kind of settles down as you begin your swing. He was able to react. Thank goodness, get out of the way of that. Oswalt really trying to get that 2-seamer in.
Bobby Wall in the pen. Hard throwing rookie they picked up from the A's in the Jury's Familiar deal. That sound, it did sound like it hit him in the helmet, but obviously as you saw it hit him in that pad, so that was the good news. Shook it off pretty easily. 88-mile-an-hour pitch, and here's Rojas now in this 3-3 game. Miggy 0 for 2 in the game. Ground ball, foul down the left field line. Marlins are 17 and 16 in their last 33 at home. As we mentioned earlier, their team ERA during that span at 3rd in the National League at 3.66. It's the first 28 they really struggled at home, going just 10 and 18 and trying to get out of a funk here. They've only won 1 of their last 10. Chopper, and it goes foul. We'll have both games of the doubleheader on Monday, 1:35 for Game 1 in Atlanta, 7:35 Game 2. And Tuesday, Wednesday, an off day in the nation's capital. You got any plans yet, Holly? A little
No, I'm focused on Monday right now. I can't let my sights pass that that doubleheader.
You got
kind of where my mind is at, right? We've got tomorrow's game, obviously Syndergaard going and Chen, and then I've got my mindset on Boyd. We got a long day on Monday.
Yes, 1-2 pitch, line drive, right center. Nimmo chasing, diving, and he makes a spectacular catch. Brandon Nimmo in right center field. Votto would have scored easily. That would have been big trouble for the Mets. Boy, what a night of flashing the leather for the Marlins. And here are the Mets.
There are a lot of awesome festivities taking place at Marlins Park this weekend, including the Better Halves Back to School Drive. Bring unopened supplies to donate and help every child get a good start to the school year. In return, the Marlins are going to give you a voucher for a future game and a coupon for free entry to either SeaWorld or Aquatica. You can drop your donations off tomorrow at the 5th base tent by the West Plaza. Craig, Todd, you both have kids. You know how many school supplies are needed to get off to the right start.
Unbelievable. I can't believe school is back, actually.
Yeah.
At least here in South Florida. Usually in the northern areas, it's after Labor Day. Was that how it was for you going to school?
Yes, that's correct. Up north, public schools, certainly.
Public
but down
school,
here,
yeah.
it seems like everybody's starting earlier every year.
Every year.
What, Mars has been grinding it out. Yeah, we got uniforms and all those school supplies. Boy, oh boy, you take a hit this time of year, don't you?
Yes. Now they used to do that little tax break. I think they still have that for about 3 days if you time it right. But yes, it adds up.
Right.
And teachers, we love you. Hope you had a great summer. We couldn't do it without you. Some of the greatest people you ever meet. People who impact your life
Absolutely.
as much as anybody. You remember your teachers your whole life. So congrats on a nice summer and good luck back at work all over wherever you're working. Ahmed Rosario 1 for 3, doubled in the third. Teheran Guerrero in there. Marlins' 4th pitcher of the night. Now the idea, keep the momentum here. Pitcher by pitcher.
You're absolutely right. We were kind of looking at that Nimmo catch. My goodness. There's been some great outfield tonight by both teams. The Marlins from taking the lead. All right, Guerrero, scoreless appearances his last 3 times out. He's pitched very well here at Marlins Park. This is his 23rd home game. 2.74 ERA. 3rd most pitches of 100 miles or more this season. 96 of them. Got hit Hicks with St. Louis, and of course, elder statesman enrolled as Chapman of triple-digit velocity.
2-2 pitch, ground ball toward Castro. He funnels it nicely and throws him out.
Good first out right there. I'm always happy when Guerrero gets outs with his slider or even his changeup. Doesn't throw too much. When he uses those other pitches even to get outs. It's part of what he needs to really learn this season. I think it's going to benefit him. We love the power. We love to see triple digits, but as we know, cannot survive on velocity alone. McNeil 0 for 3 tonight.
Tough luck 0 for 3. He's hit the ball well. And Rojas made a great play on him. It's interesting. Now, this you'd never see years ago, even when occasionally they shifted a guy with 50, 60 at bats, and there's a dramatic shift on with a relatively small sample size. Looks like he was thinking about going the other way there, just with a late swing. 0-2.
Well, not much swing velocity there either. In fact, was decelerating as he was making his pass. Not a whole lot to that swing. Actually, lucky he didn't make contact.
0-2 pitch, line drive, sharply hit. Sierra over there had him played nicely, and another hard hit off the bat of McNeil.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy-saving expert. Go to FPL.com/beattheheat.
Sierra looks pretty comfortable out there motoring this expansive outfield, which I was talking with Ortega about today. He said, boy, it is big when he went out there to left field. And he's used to playing center, so that's another nice quality when Ortega's out there. And Sierra, you got excellent speed to cover the gaps. And you need it in this ballpark.
There's no doubt about it. But you know what? If you embrace it, it certainly creates greater value for the defensive aspect of his game. So think about this early on, like Dodger Stadium, one of the older ballparks, not a huge outfield, but at the same time you're defending it and you say, oh well, but it's a smaller ballpark. This is a tremendous challenge, but one that I think he's up to. He could do this.
Pitch on the corner. Dodger Stadium was always, wasn't it slightly in the pitchers category?
Well, it was at night. I mean, it's kind of one of those ballparks. If you do it enough, it's exactly right. If you do it enough during the daytime, you'll see a lot of big numbers there.
Right, I think it was 395. Is that right? The center, it's
correct. And the gaps are only 370, but that's kind of the point. It's not a huge ballpark, but it plays big at night.
And that very short. I always liked that little wall. Maybe you didn't like it out there in left field.
Awfully dangerous.
3 foot. How high is that? About 3 feet?
It's only about 3. You're right. Yeah, that little short wall.
Introduce your knee to the wall? And
well, I tried to do what Brian Anderson did as well. Anytime I got near it at full speed, I was always about getting down. And even if I wasn't going to make the catch, just getting down, because running into that wall was a no-go. It's kind of like getting clipped. You think like a defensive back trying to knock over maybe a running back.
You get 15 yards for that.
Yeah, that's below the belt, so to speak, below the kneecaps.
1-2 on Wilmer Flores with 2 outs in the 7th. Mets scored all their runs in the 4th on the Frazier 3-run double. Marlins came back with a 2-out hit by Prado in the 4th, 2-run single, and the Romuto 2-out RBI hit in the 5th.
It's been an exciting ball game, an intense game. Back and forth, we've seen great defense, offense from both of these teams.
Mets have won 4 of 6 following a 1-6 skid of their own. Marlins trying to get it going before the road trip. 2-2 pitch. Fastball driven deep to right field. Anderson going back to the track. He makes the catch. That became routine on a well-hit ball by Wilmer Flores.
Marlins Flex 4-pack. Customize a plan to save on individual game pricing and lock in priority access to giveaways starting at just $20. Get the Flex 4-pack by visiting marlins.com/flex4 today.
Sierra will lead off for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bobby Wall is in. 6'2", 210, 26-year-old from Springfield, Virginia. He was the A's 5th round pick in the 2013 draft, and again acquired in the Familia deal. Big arm. Average fastball about 95. Major league average is 93 these days.
Well, he's had a couple of days rest as well. Last pitched August 7th. It's the Cincinnati Reds in New York. Knocked around a little bit. Inning, couple hits, couple earned runs. Gave up a home run as well.
Sierra showing bunt. Frazier trying to get an even better jump this time. He's going to be.
Well, I'm laughing because I think Sierra's like, I got a new toy. Like, you know, the bunt works. I'm starting to get comfortable with this. I might start doing this a little bit more.
Why not? His job is to get on base any way you can. It's a swing and miss there, 0-2. He's 1 for 2 in the game, and by the way, not only did he get a bunt base hit, but he was the one who scored the tying run with that blazing speed. And swing and a miss. So Wall gets a strikeout. The Marlins are going to bring up JT Riddle.
97 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Too much for Sierra. Foul tipped it just a bit as Rocco held on to it. So one down here in the bottom of the 7th. JT Riddle to the plate. 0 for 9 pitch hitting this season.
Drive to left field. Conforto is there. First pitch swinging, and the second out. Adam Conley now working in the Marlins pen. He'll be the 5th pitcher for the Marlins in the ball game.
Well, for the Mets, things have settled down in their bullpen. Of course, no more Jeurys Familia. The month of August, Mets bullpen has sported a 1.59 ERA. Only 4 walks in 28. Make that 29 innings after the first 2 outs here tonight. No earned runs allowed in 7 of their 9 games. 1.59 ERA, 3rd best in Major League Baseball.
Mickey Callaway has to be happy, I would think, with Corey Oswalt, who went 6 innings, allowed the 3 runs, 6 hits, and did not hurt his chances to force Callaway into strongly considering a 6-man rotation, which is something he has thrown out.
Well, right here at the top of my notes, he kind of hit it right on the mark. Oswalt did. And worked 5 innings or more in 4 straight starts. Check. 3 earned runs or fewer in 5 consecutive starts. Check. There you go. That's kind of who he is right now. Really, the only thing that stands out is his first start this season against the Marlins. They knocked him around, plain and simple, but that's it. Other than that, he's been good.
He walked only 1, hit a batter.
Right.
3 strikeouts.
Really the key for him, when you look at his numbers, was avoiding the long ball, and Oswalt was able to do that tonight.
Two pitch cut on and fouled off by Ortega. He is out a loud 0 for 2 and did walk in the 5th. Moved over to 3rd on the Romuto single as well. Hit that ball within a couple of feet of a homer in the 1st. base hit again for Ortega. Yeah, the hit last night. We mentioned his good at bats tonight. He's 1 for 3 on base twice. Nearly made the catch of the year. Now Anderson has that title.
96 miles an hour, no problem. Ortega handles it in stride, rips it into right. Nice swing there. I'll tell you, I've been impressed. I mentioned the numbers at AAA that he was sporting before arriving here in Miami. And he was hot. He continues to swing the bat well through 2 games.
Nine stolen bases in his major league career. This is 70th game. And nearly 250, 244 in his minor league career. In almost 1,000 games. So he's a threat to run. JT up 1 for 3. Bermuda had the RBI hit in the 5th.
With the 2-0 count, Mets have everybody but Flores on the left side of the infield. In fact, between Flores and you got about 120 feet.
Not so sure if Bermuda doesn't get a nice outside pitch. He doesn't try to shoot one to right.
Head in the count 3-0. See how he handles it. Oh, look at this. Between McNeil and Flores, what, 120, 125 feet? My goodness.
Sure. Especially with Ortega on first and Flores anchored to the bag. And a 3-0 count. And that's way upstairs. That'll push Ortega into scoring position and bring up Starlin Castro.
Good discipline at bat by JT.
Paul Sewald is in the Met bullpen taking a look.
A couple of solid at bats. Looks like JT starting to come back around. Tell you, I think JT just really feels the burden of the heavy lifting of this offense. A lot of it has fallen on his shoulders, certainly over the last couple of days. Boer's now gone. I know he feels that pressure and wants to provide what this offense needs. That's the danger of this sport. It's tough to do that, even though you want to. Other sports, you can kind of create your offense. This one, it's dictated to you.
Yeah.
I mean, how many sports does the defense hold the ball?
And 9 people are trying to get you out.
That's right.
It's 1 against 9.
Now, good theme right here. Marlins have scored all 3 of their runs tonight with 2 outs.
Pitch is over for a strike. To Starlin Castro, 1 for 3 at an infield single. Castro is a homer, hitting .237 with runners in scoring position this year. Did he offer it? Yes, says Ramon De Jesus, 0-2.
That's a hard slider. Castro unable to hold up. Well, here's some good news. He's one of the best hitters in the National League with 2 strikes this year.
Ortega has excellent speed. He's on second base. And he took something off that one and strikes out Castro. Good pitch for Wall to get out of the jam and leave 2 on here in the 7th.
Outstanding defense tonight. A couple of great catches. T-Mobile built for baseball. Well, we start with Brian Anderson. My goodness, 128 feet into the wall, right off the track. Great catch. It's okay, don't worry about it. And how about this one? Give credit where credit is due. Nimmo, outstanding. This ball slicing away from him off the bat of Rojas. And in some ways a game changer, keeping the score tied at 3. Beautiful catch by Nimmo in center.
Adam Conley is in for the Marlins to pitch inning number 8 in this 3-3 ball game, his 35th appearance. Good numbers this year for the lefty.
Conley pitched in last night's ball game, did a fantastic job. Clean inning. Oh, excuse me, did give up a hit. Missed that hit. I was looking at the strikeouts, 2 of them, no walks. Like so many Marlins, great numbers here at Marlins Park. 2.16 ERA, 18 games. This is game number 19. His career has held the Mets to a 179 batting average against.
Michael Conforto takes a strike. And how about that 186th average this year against everybody, 12th among National League relievers.
Well, it's been so impressive about Conley, and I don't think we've really talked about it in these terms. A lot of times guys kind of get defined and you think, oh, Conley, did he, is he with the Marlins? Is he a lefty specialist? Is that what you bring him in to do? Well, I'll tell you what, Conley handles the lefties and the righty equally well. Stuff plays, there's no doubt about it. Lefties 189, righties 183. A great equalizer. The changeup, a big pitch for him. And that slider certainly coming along. Love to see the velocity, but he has been really, really good.
And he's part of that home road total we talked about earlier. Road ERA 4.6, home ERA 2.16. And he's evolving into this role as well. It's different for him. He's been a starter, but he's done a real good job. You could see him as a, we'll see which way the Marlins go, because he could certainly go back to being a starter as well, but he has been very effective and a weapon the Marlins haven't had, a hard-throwing lefty who can get big outs for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, hard-throwing lefties who can pitch late in ball games are coveted in the game. Be able to develop something that is long-lasting.
Lost Conforto here, though.
A couple of borderline pitches did not get the call.
So here's Brandon Nimmo. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, scored a run, and a spectacular catch. As great as his catch was, as he squares the bunt, takes a strike, it's hard to say it was a better catch than Anderson's because of the wall factor. But a big spot in the game, too, because the Marlins would have scored that go-ahead run there.
Well, I'd be willing to bet that Anderson went a little bit farther for his catch than Nimmo, but Nimmo's defense on that catch, that ball slicing away, no doubt about it.
And saved a huge run, at least, possibly a triple. Who knows?
Well, what he did a fantastic job of was outrunning the baseball, and that's kind of what happens when you get that ball that slices away from you. A lot of times outfielders think they know where that ball's coming down, and it actually is farther away, and they end up missing it or off the end of the glove. Nimmo ran right through that catch and was able to make it towards the end of his glove.
Oh, what a play by Castro to Rojas! 4-6-3. Another sizzling defensive play.
Hello. Yeah, might as well keep up the theme tonight, Craig. My goodness. This happened so fast, I'm not sure really how to defend it. My goodness. Starling to the backhand. Well, we knew once he got the ball, once he had the ball, he had plenty of time to turn this double play. It's all about the short hop. Oh, nearly ate him alive, but he makes the clean backhand. Good throw to Rojas, huh? How about it?
And Ole looked like one of those great highlight players they have down here with the backhand. Then he kind of flinched. Looked like Rojas is going to throw it back to him at 100 miles an hour after the play. Nimmo still made it close. What a play by Castro, who had a tough, it wasn't his fault, he had a tough couple plays last night. That ball off the glove of Orania kind of threw him off, the timing of it. Then the next one Adam, 2 runs scored. He probably had a shot at that one as well. They weren't errors, they were tough plays. So good to see him bounce back with a sensational double play here.
That ball hit 101 miles an hour off Nimmo's bat. My goodness. How about the defense tonight from both these teams?
Todd Frazier. Swing and a miss. So big inning for Conley, the great double play. And it stays 3-3. Good ball game tonight at Marlins Park.
For Marlins baseball, customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Marlins home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV, Game of the Day, live radio broadcasts, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at bat today. Paul Sewald into the ball game, 4.73 ERA on the season. This will be his 33rd game. Done a pretty nice job of late. Last 3 appearances scoreless.
Ryan Anderson is 0 for 3, scored a run. Makes that off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-2. That's outside from Sewald, in case you're wondering. Anderson's last homer was July 30th against Julio Teheran, looking for his 10th of the season. There's a base hit for Anderson. Splits the hole between Frazier and Rosario. Leadoff single for Miami.
Now the first leadoff runner on tonight.
Wow.
Start an inning here in the 8th.
Derek Dietrich is 1 for 3. Marlins are not a real bunting team in terms of sacrifice. We'll see how they play it here. Frazier is thinking about it, though. He's on the grass. Dietrich did not look like he was in a bunting position. He does not have a sacrifice bunt this season. Marlins only have, among their position players, 6 sacrifice bunts. What has become a little out of vogue in today's modern game. 1-1 to Dietrich. Frazier is now backed up, as you can see on the dirt. Dietrich takes the strike.
Well, Seawald, four-seam fastball, slider. Not overpowering, 91 miles an hour on that four-seamer. Most part stays down in the zone. Slider at 82, throws it about 30% of the time.
Dietrich hits one to right center field and deep. Nimmo, though, will have a play for the first out.
Seawald got away with one there. Dietrich just missed it out in front a smidge. Catches that ball a little bit deeper. It's at least a double or a home run.
Martin Prado, good night for him. 1 for 2. Big 2-out, 2-run hit. Got the Marlins on the board in the 4th. Ground ball, base hit. Anderson to second. Takes a look. First and second, Miami. And here is Miguel Rojas.
Yeah, right man, right spot. As far as RBIs are concerned, 4 RBIs in his last 3 games. He's been that go-to guy at the bottom of the lineup of late. Nice job by Prado. Boy, oh boy, he's had a nice night tonight. Every ball off his bat hit hard. In the out. First bat of the ball game.
So Mesoraco out to have a chat. Miguel playing with a heavy heart. Everybody knows what an animal lover he is. He had to put down his 12-year-old English sheepdog yesterday. Al Medina had a cancerous growth, and he actually came to the clubhouse. He was still crying, and anybody who has a pet knows that they are really part of the family. And he had to deal with that, the family dealing with that, which is tricky if you've ever gone through it, of course, if you had pets. Good way to pick himself up and his ball club up with a big hit. Some good feelings here tonight at Marlins Park.
Well, he's been clutch in this situation. Runners in scoring position, 341 on the season.
It gets away, that's big, and it goes off the knee, almost into the Met dugout. Runners move up to second and third, though. That's huge.
Oh my! Mesoraco decides to go to the backhand here. Check this out. The sinker stays down and eats him up. Normally you see that glove kind of open up to the forehand, not to the backhand. That kind of rolled right up his arm. It's a huge play, huge opportunity for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 8th.
Only their 14th wild pitch, but second in the series of the year. So second and third now infield in. 1-0 count to Rojas. Makes that one down low, 2-0.
Mesoraco will probably tell you he should have kept that in front.
Anderson on third. Prado is on second. Infield is in. There's 1 out. You never know how Anderson's going to play this. Swing and a miss. He had a big secondary lead. We'll see if he's going on a ground ball.
Yeah,
or do you wait for it to get through?
This is a very interesting dynamic here. You've got to remember, you got Sierra in the on-deck circle. Now, Rojas is the veteran in this situation. He's the one hitting 341. Also remember that there's now a base open. So for Seawald, I wouldn't anticipate getting too much to hit. I mean, you're thinking probably edges here if you're Rojas. You don't want to extend your strike zone here. Swung at a 2-0 slider.
2-1 pitch inside 3-1.
Everything about what we've seen from Seawald after the wild pitch has told us he wants no part of Rojas.
You wonder why they don't just put him on here. Even if the Mets wouldn't even want to see a fly ball in this spot. With action now in the bullpen, because that would score a run, most likely. Prado's got a tremendous lead. Obviously, it's second with nobody holding him on. Facet could score 2. 3-1 pitch. That was a good low pitch. Out of the strike zone, 3-2.
Sewald threw a 3-1 slider again. Rojas expanding his strike zone.
Got a little piece to stay alive. The infield is in. Sometimes the runner, even in this spot, the normal ground ball will go. In the theory, worst case scenario, first and third, they get the out at the plate. It could be a tricky out.
You could try to create action, especially with the ball on the ground. You very well may see Anderson go on contact here. Try and force the issue at home.
Does he get a strike? 3-2 pitch. No, he did not get a strike, and he didn't offer at it. So there you go, Todd. That's the 3-2 walk.
Great job by Rojas right there. He tried to make something happen just a bit, chased a couple of sliders down, but right there, Sewald really wanted no part of him. Wasn't going to give him another pitch to even give him a crack at doing something with. He'll just have to take that walk.
Dave Island out to chat. Magneuris Sierra has a couple of RBIs in his Marlins career. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Sierra only has 52 at bats, 10 hits overall, slightly under 200. He is 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, though.
I'll tell you what, Greg, I don't think I've seen, it's been a while, but a squeeze with the bases loaded? I don't know.
Well, this is interesting.
I would consider anything at this point, though. I mean, we've seen him, obviously square, a number of times.
The Met infield is backed up now a little less than halfway. It's second and short.
Yeah, they're in on the corners. A bit closer to double play depth up the middle, kind of in between.
But a soft grounder, and they're going to give up a run.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to bank on, a speedy guy hitting it right at him for a double play, and they're backing up a little bit. Anything a little bit soft, they're not going to get Sierra.
Well, he's got to find a way to put the ball in play.
Hard hit up the middle. It can still go to the plate. Yes, Todd? Or not? We'll see. Outside, 1-2. Backed up just enough to give him a shot anyway. The option. Anderson, Prado, Rojas on base. 1 out, 3-3 game. Sierra pops one foul and out of play.
Sierra has shown in the early going this season with the Marlins the ability to handle the fastball. Sewald's not going to blow him away. The challenge here is to lay off that slider. I would anticipate at some point Sewald's going to try and bury one and see if Sierra will go fishing.
It's hanging in there. You saw he had some tough pitches against Rojas. Was able to battle into that 3-2 count before he walked him.
Now, if Sewald stays out there, I have a feeling that Sierra will win this battle ultimately. He's going to have to come up with something to deceive Sierra. I believe he's going to pump a fastball by him.
Sewald in his second major league season out of the University of San Diego. Here's the 1-2. Again fouled off.
There's the off speed at some point down. Sierra does just get a piece.
Outfield is not deep. As Don Mattingly said, they kind of shorten the park a little bit here early in the career of Sierra, who does have some pop. And Mattingly thinks that'll occur as the career moves on. Swing and a miss. Got him. Big strikeout for Paul Sewald. He can possibly get out of it now. Isaac Galloway is going to come up and pinch hit.
Yeah, ultimately expands the strike zone. Sewald did not hit his mark. He actually got this ball off that outside edge more so than up in the zone. Mesoraco wanted it up near the letters. Alarm side run, big pitch. He is able to get that fastball by him.
So here he is, Isaac Galloway. Pops one up. It'll go out of play.
Well, 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter this season. Chance to be a hero here in the 8th.
Was in the middle of his 11th minor league season until the Marlins called him up on the last road trip. All those at bats and bus trips. Takes a strike though, 0-2. That sneaky off-speed pitch from Sewald. This is Galloway's 8th at bat. He has 2 hits. He does not have a major league RBI. 0-2 pitch. Just missed.
Yeah, great take by Galloway. Sewald tried doubling up with a slider down. He got a little space on the second strike, so he tried to add a little bit more to see if Galloway would go after it. He didn't.
27th pitch coming from Sewald. Line drive, center field. Nimmo is there. We hit it well, but right at Nimmo. And the Mets escape. It's still 3-3. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Lincoln, join the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. Back in the Magic City, wherever you're watching Marlins baseball, we thank you here, Fox Sports Florida. Producer Jeff Wetzel handling our telecast. Good to be in. Paul back with Holly on Monday. Craig Minervini here as we go to the 9th, and Drew Steckenrider comes in. Marlins left 3 on in the 8th, had a great opportunity, bases loaded, 1 out. And you can see the confidence Galloway had in Sewald to keep him in there and get some big outs.
Yeah, he certainly did. Tell you what, Galloway hit that ball well. Nice adjustment to the slider, but right at Nimmo in center. All right, Steckenrider into the ball game. Steck he's been throwing the ball pretty well. Bit of a bump outing in Philadelphia. Other than that, he's had a pretty nice month of August.
Bautista 1 for 3. Started out hot with the Mets. He's been quiet of late. And he's down on the count 0-2.
Second rider. Handle the lefties and the righties equally well. Two-seam fastball, little arm side run. Always gets everybody's attention. A lot of times the hitter gets so locked in on that strike zone, any kind of variation up in the zone causes you to kind of flail out of the way. Saw it there with Bautista.
Bautista's hit in the 6th was only his second hit in the last 32 at bats. And now he's 0-2, and now he's gone 3-2 with Mesoraco waiting on deck, but Plawecki now has come out. No, it is Mesoraco, beg your pardon, in the on deck circle. Swing and a miss, big strikeout on a 3-2 pitch.
No doubt about it. Great job by Steck. Dials up 95 on that outside corner. That's a big pitch. Steck has had a few days off. You always worry about rust, especially with your bullpen guys when they get probably more than 2 days off. Last time he pitched was 5 days ago.
So here's Devin Mesoraco. Marlins have now fanned 7 Mets tonight.
Be careful. Now Mesoraco's hit 9 home runs on the season. 8 have come in the 7th inning or later.
He had a big one against Atlanta last Friday.
And he has a knack for late game drama, doesn't he?
Yeah, that 9th inning homer there tied that ball game up. 4-4. This was one they thought it was a double. The umps had to review it, and it hit a panel above the left field fence at Citi Field.
The Marlins bullpen has been struggling of late here in the month of August. I told you about the Mets. They're one of the top teams. Their bullpen in the month of August. The Marlins are not. But tonight, they've been really good.
We got them on some high heat again.
Tonight, 4 innings from the bullpen. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Nice job by Steck climbing the ladder.
So 2 outs, and now the Marlins will have to deal with the red-hot Austin Jackson.
Yeah, he's red hot as a starter, not as a pinch hitter. 4 for 21 on the season. It's a 190 batting average. I think you and I both surprised he was not in the lineup today.
I was very surprised coming off his night last night with the 3 hits, but they like him in center field, and when they get Bautista in, they move Nimmo over to center field.
Sure.
They give up a little defense.
Nimmo's playing every day, but
yeah.
for Jackson, he's got 3 hits in 3 of his last 4 games. I mean, he's that kind of hot right now.
I'm with you. He's been crazy out as a Met. He's 17 for 36. His .472 in the last 12 games leads Major League Baseball as a Met. 2 homers, 9 RBIs. 2-1 pitch. Missed that one. Steckerrider, the 6th pitcher for the Marlins in this ball game. So Mattingly would love to get out of it here and win it in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 9th. There's a lot of elbow room right now in the Marlins bullpen. 2-2. A little bit high.
Well, good try by Steck. That was a whole lot of intent behind it. 95 miles an hour above the strike zone. He certainly knows how hot Jackson has been.
3-2 pitch, fouled back. Marlins will have the top of the order. They lead off the bottom of the 9th. Ortega, Realmuto, Castro. 3-2 pitch, he offered at it. Steckerrider struck out the side in the 9th. The Marlins will now try to make Steck a winner. He struck out Bautista. He struck out Mesoraco. And he got Jackson. Yanni Rivera, May 1st. Who could forget Brian Anderson's sac fly in June? And then 4 in July, Rivera scoring Anderson. Brian Halliday with an RBI single. Beat Milwaukee. Castro in the same series. He drove in the game winner. And JT Realmuto with the RBI single with the 2-man outfield against Washington. That capped off a 4 walk-off July and 7 walk-off wins so far.
Yeah, that's impressive, the 7 walk-off wins, though. You know what's missing? Walk-off homer.
Ooh, you're right. I think they
We've
only
seen
have,
one.
let's say, 6 RBI singles and a sac fly from the walk-off standpoint. So good time, you're right, right here. And Rafael Ortega, if he had a 1.5 feet more, he would have hit one out in the first inning. He faces Tyler Bachelor, who is no stranger to giving up big homer. He gave up one to Nick Markakis in the 10th last Friday when he got behind in the count. In the 10th inning, that was a 5-4 loss in what he called a get it over fastball with a 2-0 count.
You better not make that mistake to Ortega. We saw him turn on 96 and line it into right tonight. 1 for 3 with a walk.
He's not getting cheated up here. If you want to make a little first impression, Rafael Ortega has been very impressive in the 2 games.
I like his swing. I like his aggressiveness.
Fouls one straight back. Talked to him before the game. Said, I never gave up hope. 2 years in the buses and the planes and the commercial aircraft of the minors. He's had a taste of the big leagues. There is something he said, Todd, when you see a guy come up and it looks like he's been here before, and he has. It's not a ton of experience.
He's not overwhelmed by what's going on around him.
He fits in, though.
That's right. He just showed up and started hitting right away, putting together good at bats. Defense has been solid in left.
Good at bat here. 3-2. Remember the walk he had in the 5th inning tonight.
Yeah, that's the one dynamic. I was wondering if we would see that. Of course, we saw him. He was pretty aggressive last night at the plate. And the point being that out of that top spot in AAA, he actually had more walks than strikeouts.
That is a real rarity these days. Here's the 3-2. Pops it up. Rosario Conforto will be the left fielder making the catch. Here's JT Realmuto. He had that last walk-off hit that the Marlins have had this season, a 2-1 10-inning win over Washington in late July.
We certainly know JT capable of ending this with one swing of the bat.
JT had a double down the line in the ball game yesterday. This time around it would be a little tougher because Frazier is very close to the line. Sort of no doubles type defense at third. Not right on it, but close enough where it'd be hard to get it by him on the ground.
Against Bachelor, the righties have better numbers. Right-handed hitters hitting .281. Lefties only .250.
Mets had 3 on the other side of the infield last time JT was up. This time McNeil is shaded just slightly to the right of second base, or his left. 3-1 count with Castro on deck. And fastball cut on 98 miles an hour from Tyler Bachelor. Fans of the Florida State League remember Bachelor. Only last year he was a closer, spent most of the last season with St. Lucie. Midseason All-Star before he was promoted to Binghamton. Foul back to the screen. He had 175 strikeouts in 121 minor league innings. Mets are really auditioning, Todd, a lot of big, young, power-type arms here in the bullpen, one after another. You don't know all the names.
Trying to put their bullpen back together for next season. Trying to figure out who is going to stay and who is going to continue to work.
Ramiro drives one to center field. Nimmo has a beat. And 2 men away. Good job there by Bachelor to come back from being down in the count 3-1. Here's Starlin. Castro 1 for 4 tonight. And a ground ball to shortstop. Charged nicely by Rosario. And we'll go to extra innings here at Marlins Park, tied at 3. AT&T, the official sponsor for extra innings. 3-3 ball game. Sure there'll be many lines like that one around South Florida tonight on a Saturday night. As we go to extras here, Dominican Heritage Night. 11th extra inning game for the Marlins. 6-4 as Drew Rosinski toes the slab. Mets are 6-6, their 13th extra inning game. Rosinski's 15th game. Saw Drew last night for 2/3 of an inning. Came on in the 6th inning. Did give up the RBI hit by Rosario that knocked in 2.
Rosinski, 293 on the fastball, has the splitty and the slider.
Mets had to go through the top of the Marlin order. Marlins will have to do the same here with the Mets in the top of the 10th. Rosario, McNeil, Flores. It's been a rare game with no double switches. Right? It seems like every game we've had a double switch or several with both teams, but not tonight. Oh, 1 count on Rosario. Whoa, look out. That one nearly hit McNeil. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Our baseball historian, John Chimchuk, with the interesting note that there have been 10 guys in the Marlins' number 9 spot tonight.
Well, it's because you mentioned that there were no double switches. I mean, he was on it. He handed you that in like, what, 5 seconds?
He did.
That's why he's the best.
6 pitchers.
And right now, best in the game. You add up all the pinch hitters, your starter, the relievers. I mean, everybody. Yeah, you got 10 guys in the 9th spot.
So why do I come up with 9? Am I mistaken? Well, oh, you're right. It's 7 pitchers. You're absolutely right. It's Rosinski's the 7th pitcher.
Please don't make me choose. you're not winning that one.
Should have known that. I ran out of spaces for my pitchers. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Rosario, up high, 2-2. And a drive foul into the seats. Marlins only have Brian Holiday on the bench, the backup catcher. And Brett Graves is in along with Javi Guerra, the 2 pitchers that remain. Here's the 2-2. Line shot, center field, well hit, but Sierra will get over there. Rosario 1 for 5 tonight. And here comes Jeff McNeil.
McNeil came into the series hot. He's been throttled a bit. One for 9. He hit in game 1. 0 for tonight. 0 for 4.
Some hard balls, though. He line out end of the game last night, or ended his at bat, I should say, in the 9th. The line out earlier in the 7th. He had that hard shot that Rojas made the great play on. You don't buy those so hard outs, huh?
We're not playing horseshoes. It's the cruelty of hitting.
You're a bottom line man, aren't you, Holly?
He has got 1 hit. Let's keep it that way.
1-0 count. That one scuffled up into the crowd. May have caught on a bounce one of the fans near the camera well. Fastball up high, 2-1 count on Jeff McNeil. Jeff out of Long Beach State. 12th round pick by the Mets in 2013. And he said, I'm just showcasing my game. In his debut July 24th. Hits one well to left field, Ortega. Second out. Homer Flores is 1 for 3. He doubled in the 4th, almost a spectacular catch by Rafael Ortega, who had it for a moment till he hit the wall and the ball jarred loose. Takes a fastball nicely placed for a strike. Flores also hit by a pitch in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Marlins outfield is really deep. They want to try and keep the ball in front of them. No doubles. Two pitches inside from Rucinski.
Split finger, little arm side run at 85. See him preset split finger fastball.
Marlins signed Rucinski as a minor league free agent at the end of November. What a signing that was. Line shot. It's going to possibly drop. It stays fair, and it will. That deep outfield. Flores going to second, and he's going to get in there with his second double of the game. A bloop, but placed in a good spot.
Yeah, this is more like a wedge. Watch the swing, not full extension. The splitty working its way down. You see the top hand come off the bat for Flores as he extends down in the zone. He doesn't crush it. He just perfectly places it down that left field line, and watch it check up when it hits. Greg, you bet you wish your sandwich did that a little bit more.
Absolutely. Stay on the green. So big bloop. Marlins will intentionally walk Conforto. He's got 3 walks tonight in the game.
Probably shouldn't be surprised there. Conforto, one of the best in the game, certainly taking his base.
They do not gain the advantage of getting a righty though up, because Brandon Nimmo, left-handed hitter, will stand in.
Well, Nimmo hit a rocket. Starlin Castro started a double play back in the 8th. Castro to the backhand, quick turn.
We told you though how hot, although overall Conforto hitting just 233 coming in, 235 now. He's been very hot since the All-Star break. Yeah. Over 300. And a count of 0-1 now on Nimmo. Here's the first ever first-round pick from the state of Wyoming. It's kind of neat. In a class of 50 athletes.
Sure.
Right?
Well, let's spend a little time in Montana, in that area of the country.
Yeah.
My youth.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Now, what brought you to those parts?
Well, father had been transferred a number of times.
Right.
I was in Billings, Montana for 1 year.
You went to high school.
I did. Went there for 1 year, and certainly can speak to that. I think it's a really cool honor. But you're right. A lot of times those athletes don't get nearly the same attention as the hotbeds in Arizona and Florida and California, Texas.
It
speaks to the athlete that he is.
A Cowboy State. Oh, 2 pitch is outside. Nimmo is only the 16th Wyoming guy, as they call them apparently.
Did you just make that up?
No,
okay.
I saw that somewhere. I never heard
If
it
you
before.
did, it's okay. You're more than welcome to.
Sounds right. Resident native of the state. Only 16 ever played Major League Baseball from Wyoming. Takes it inside now, 2-2.
Well, if you think back to the 4th inning, it was Nimmo who took the curveball against Dan Straley that set up the Todd Frazier bases clearing double. Very similar pitch. Rucinski went back there again, didn't get the call. Marlins fans here reacting. Been a very passionate crowd tonight. It's been a lot of fun to be in this type of environment. Crowd involved from pitch number 1 to this moment in the ball game. And I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody's left. Here we are in the 10th.
Got some Met contingent fans, great Marlin fans, Dominican Heritage Night. 2-2 pitch, fouled back. Marlins will wrap up the homestand tomorrow. 12:30 for Marlins Live. Robert Gesellman is loosening up. Mets have only used 4 pitchers in the game. Flores at second. Conforto is at first for New York. Here's the 2-2. Smacked foul.
Rucinski really trying to get that cutter in on the hands of Nimmo. We've seen the cutter in, splitting away.
Rucinski's 23rd pitch of the inning coming. Another foul.
Decent speed on the bases for the Mets. Porto over at first, Flores at second. Flores doubling here in the 10th, his 3rd double of the series. Second tonight.
And back to the box. Good job by Rucinski, who runs it halfway and underhands to get the out. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th, tied at 3. Mason. Jessica Blaylock, Jeff Nelson, Tommy Hutton will have the show, Flashing the Leather. And we'll have Don Mattingly's press conference coming up as well. Highlights, of course, real good ball game here tonight. Jeff's wife Sherry may even have some analysis of some of the relief pitching tonight. We'll see. Here's Brian Anderson. He is 1 for 4 in the game. Check swing. He didn't want to swing. Went into the Met dugout. Inning number 2 here. For Bachelor. Tyler, 25 years of age, from Savannah, Georgia, in his first major league season. That pitch is back to the netting. Now 2-1 to Anderson. Bachelor's the first pitcher to go, other than the starters, more than 1 inning tonight.
He's got a good arm. Seen the velocity, 97, 98. Has not thrown a slider for a strike yet. More of a show me pitch.
High pop up coming toward the Met dugout and just to the left in the Diamond Club seats.
Brian Anderson really wanted that one. He was on time. In fact, actually a little bit early. He was swinging slow motion. He caught that off the end of the bat. Certainly guessing fastball and a fastball count.
2-2 line drive left field, but Conforto is right there. Anderson smoked it. Couldn't hit it much better.
No, you can't, other than to add some height to it. That's about it. This ball absolutely smoked. Great swing. A couple of great pull swings tonight from Anderson. Let's continue to challenge him in. This is where you get a little mad at the ballpark sometimes as a hitter.
That could at least hit a wall somewhere because the outfielder's not playing that deep to begin with.
And no doubles is different here than it is in other places.
Yes. Derek Dietrich takes a, well, it's going to be a check swing called strike. Called the swing is what he did actually over at third base. Umpire Jerry Meals said he went around. Didn't he? Yeah, the scoreboard here has it 1-0, but there's another one, and that is a swing as well. 0-2.
Now Dietrich really not swinging at those particular pitches, just trying to start his hands, anticipating the high velocity fastball. Essentially guessing that he was going to get a heater, just hasn't gotten one yet.
Gets one there. 96, fouls it off.
Tell you what, that's a dangerous pitch. I mean, that's a hitter who is looking for what you are going to. You better get it to the top of the zone. He may have gotten you right there.
Marlins have 2 pitchers left in Javi Guerra and Brett Graves. Interestingly enough, both are throwing in the bullpen. And swing and a miss by Dietrich. Did he get a piece? No, he did not. So they'll tag him for the out. Guerra continues to throw. Sometimes that may be a factor of, I guess one guy needs a little more time to loosen up. I mean, it is the bottom of the 10th. Martin Prado hits a fly ball. Skied to Bautista. We will go to the 11th. 3-3.
is brought to you by AT&T, the official sponsor for Extra Innings. Now, it has been a lively game. Time for our game summary. To the fourth inning we go. Bases loaded. Todd Frazier gets a breaking ball. Down in the zone, rips it down the third base line and unloads those bases. It's the big hit for the Mets. The Marlins respond. Martin Prado, great piece of hitting. Going the other way. He's going to drive in two. That was a big response in that bottom of the fourth inning. And JT Realmuto really starting to come out of it. A couple of nice at-bats tonight. Drives in that tying run. In the meantime, we have seen stellar defense both on the infield and outfield by both teams tonight. So we head to the 11th inning, locked in a tie at 3.
And here he is, Javi Guerra, who had that big save. Second pitch double play earlier in the homestand. Gets a strike to start off against Todd Frazier.
Well, I mentioned the numbers. Marlins bullpen has struggled this month of August, but not tonight. 5 1/3 innings, 7 relievers, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, a couple of walks, obviously no runs.
That's a bridge they'd be impressed with in Brooklyn, I think. That's a good job tonight. Maybe the Walt Whitman where you grew up.
Philly, that's correct.
A little while.
Jersey, Philly.
Ben Franklin.
That's right.
Bridge. You have a favorite bridge?
I don't, but I do know my way across. Cherry Hill, just on the other side.
The Golden Gate has got to be, right? From spectacular. It beats the Verrazano.
That's right. Make movies about the Golden Gate.
2-2. Mets have a bridge on their logo. Long-standing logo since their inception in 1962. 2-2 pitch. Frazier hits it to center. Sierra coming in. Took a look and makes the catch.
Well, good communication there. Sierra called off. He has control as the center fielder. He did a nice job getting over as well, but conceding. Sierra.
There's that Met logo. You see the bridge there on the bottom?
I do.
I always thought that was a cool logo with the city landscape. Jose Bautista 1 for 4 in the ball game. He drills that one deep to left center. Back is Sierra, though he's got room. And he makes the catch. Deep part of the ballpark. Would you say the ball's not carrying very well tonight, or not?
I was just getting ready to kind of go in that Jed Jerko direction.
Yes.
Batista, similar reaction.
Yeah.
Jed Jerko, the reference to the St. Louis series, thought he'd had himself a 3-run home run, then ball barely got to the warning track. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But that night the roof was open.
Right, and I mean, again, we talked about it. The breeze coming in, the glass was open as well. And Jerko, I mean, absolutely got into one to center field. Thought he had it the entire time. In fact, he was stunned and amazed for about 10 minutes after. We were watching him play defense, and he was still, you can see him shaking his head, still trying to figure that one out.
He said that after the game, it was the hardest ball he hit all year.
Right.
And Ozuna told him with the roof open, it doesn't carry as well normally. Again, it depends. Sometimes you get some shifting winds here. But roof closed, that's popped up in the infield. Miguel Rojas taking charge. Gets a smile from his pal Starlin Castro as the Marlins are trying to win it here in the bottom of the 11th. colorful night, lots of emotion, lots of great plays by both teams. Good ball game tonight. Marlins would love to make it their 8th walk-off win of the year. They came back to tie it, but have not been able to get that next run. They left the bases loaded in the 8th, their best shot with 1 out that had the bags loaded. Also left 2 on in the 7th.
You see the numbers. Jacob Rame into the ball game. Four-seam fastball, does throw hard. 96, 97 miles an hour. Four-seamer, slider, occasional changeup. Not too many of those. He's given up 7 home runs this year.
Met bullpen came in with a 1.59 ERA in August, 3rd best mark in Major League Baseball this month, with just 4 walks and 20 strikeouts, and they've only added that in this ball game. As the 3 runs were charged, there's a base hit for Rojas. Backs up Batista. Rojas thought about it. He gets back over to first base, but a rare leadoff runner here for the Marlins in this ball game. And it's a big single for Miguel Rojas.
It certainly is. Fastball away, jumps all over it, drives it into right, does a great job running the bases. I love it. Love to see guys get out of the box and force throws from outfielders. Look at Rojas coming hard, good turn. Makes Batista come up and make a throw into second base. Always try to create that error sometimes on the bases.
Second leadoff runner for the Marlins in the ball game. Here's Sierra in a bunting spot, but this time a sacrifice bunting spot. Drags it. That's a good drag bunt for him. It gets the runner over, which is all he wanted to do. Perfect job.
Yeah, nicely done. It was a great read. Flores did not crash nearly as hard, so goes that route, gets the job done. Rojas into scoring position. Turned it around early.
In a spot, let's say nobody was on. That's a base hit, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it all depends on certainly how they're playing him. I mean, ideally, you know, again, I'll use JP. JP was always my greatest point of reference. I wasn't I didn't bunt a whole lot. If I did, it was usually against a tough lefty. But the idea was that when you drag to the right side, you got to get past the pitcher's mound. That's what gives you the chance.
Right.
And if at anything, you're racing him to the bag.
You can make the first baseman field it off the line with his speed. That's
just you against the pitcher, and a lot of times they forget to cover.
It's a good practice run for Sierra, and it does the job. So here's Brian Holiday.
2 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year, career 4 for 19. Does have a walk-off.
Yep.
You mentioned it. Marlins looking for number 8. That would put them into 2nd in Major League Baseball. Currently, they sit 4th with 7 walk-offs.
Wow.
So we'd like to see him get into that giant Brewer territory of 8. St. Louis leads with 9.
Ground ball to Here comes Rojas rounding third. Holiday has done it again. His 2nd walk-off hit of the year. And the Marlins pour out in the 11th.
Now fresh off the bench gets it done once again. His 2nd walk-off this season. Boy, oh boy, this Marlins team needed that, didn't they?
Yes.
It has been a tough go of it here in the month of August. Holiday steps into the moment and comes through once again. I credit the bullpen on a job well done tonight.
Our Coors Light refreshing finish. Brian Holiday in the bottom of the 11th caps off the comeback from Miami. They trailed 3-0 at one point in this game.
Well, as he should. 4 unanswered run by the Marlins gets it done. Hooks a slider into the corner. And gets it past Frazier, who wasn't guarding the line nearly close enough.
Walk-off hit number 2 for Holiday has the Marlins jumping on Dominican Heritage Night. They win it in 11. Let's go down to Jessica with the hero of the game.
Thanks so much, Craig. Brian, what an unbelievable moment for you, helping your team get the win tonight. You've got all of your teammates running onto the field. They douse you with the Gatorade cooler. How would you describe the exhilaration of providing a walk-off win?
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. But, I mean, look at the crowd tonight. We got some great fans. This has been a lot of fun. You know, sitting on the bench the whole game, watching this and listening to the fans. It's been just a great night.
How difficult is it to prepare for that at bat? You haven't been in the game. You come out in a pinch hit appearance, and you got to try and deliver in a clutch situation.
you know, that's when you just try to keep it simple. You know, I was just looking for something up in the zone that I could put in play, and it worked out. Luckily, Miggy Rowe got on base for us and got second share, laid down a perfect bunt, so, you know, everything worked out.
You had the advantage of watching most of the game. We saw some great defensive plays. Drew Steckenrider came in the ninth and struck out the side, a couple of clutch hits when this team needed them to fight back and overcome being down by a couple of runs. How would you describe this team win tonight?
Oh, it was awesome. You know, we played excellent defense throughout the game, and our pitching kept us in the game like they've done most this year. And so, you know, it's a huge shout out to the staff. They've done a great job all year.
Appreciate the time. Thanks so much. Craig, back to you.
Thank you, Jessica. It took 3 hours and 26 minutes. The Marlins with their 8th walk-off. That's tied for second in Major League Baseball, only to St. Louis's 9. Milwaukee and the Giants also have 8. Wow, good ball game tonight. Good comeback and a good charge for the Marlins as they win 4-3. Post game is coming up.